Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
All right, Adam Hamilton not too far away, and then we'll take a look at the meeting here at Gloucester Park tomorrow with Aiden to Campo after we have a chat to Adam and get all the latest from the East Coast. But I know you love a stat, Diggers.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
And the spring is here.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Go on.
When you think the spring is here, who do you immediately go to?
The Battlers.
Yes. And what's their favourite thing to do?
Oh, they just march. They march towards success.
And if you'd have $100 in every best bet this year in Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia,
yes,
you'd be more than 18 grand in front.
Really?
That's over 75% profit on turnover.
Yep.
Stop missing out. And Diggers, stop being tipped $1.80 favourites that lose. Start being tipped $71 best bet winners. Join now at AussiePuntingBattler.com. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
Throughout the decades, there has been one standout voice in harness racing. Adam Hamilton has conveyed the amazing highs and the heartbreaking lows. Retrovision are proud to present Adam Hamilton. Retrovision, lowest prices guaranteed. RAC members save an extra 5% every day at Retrovision.
Good morning to you, Adam.
Yeah, morning, fellas. Great to be on with you, particularly at this time in thoroughbred racing and obviously harness racing, which I'm mainly here to chat about as well, because the stars are in action. This meeting at Melton in particular on Saturday night is just off the charts, and to think it's simply an entree towards this revamped Victoria Cup night is just incredible.
Well, Adam, let's talk about Leap to Fame.
Well, look, he's back. He's back at Melton and back earlier than expected, Diggers. We thought originally that that lead-up race last week in Brisbane would be the only time we'd see him before next week's Victoria Cup, but Grant Dixon notoriously loves to race his champ, and we all enjoy that because so many champions get kept in cotton wool, but that's never been the case with Leap to Fame. And he's not due down here until early tomorrow morning, but he's going to step out all going well Saturday night in the Smoking Up Sprint. So, and it should just be a turn up and win job for him. He has drawn 6, but most importantly, he's drawn inside his major danger and probably the only danger given how much ahead of the rest they are, and that's Bay of Biscay, the Tab Eureka winner. He goes into his first clash with Leap to Fame, but brutally he's got to start from outside him in 7, which makes it close to impossible, you would think, over the 1,720 metres. So Leap to Fame 6, Bay of Biscay 7. The other one that is there for the placings and still a tiny chance of getting into the Victoria Cup next week is Mickey Pins for Jason Grimson. Luke McCarthy takes a drive. I can't ever recall Luke McCarthy driving for Jason Grimson, but there's a partnership across about 3 drives at Melton on Saturday night. So, of course, the Victoria Cup is the one mega race on the eastern seaboard to have escaped Leap to Fame. He ran 3rd 2 years ago. He was scratched just days before last year's race when he had a throat infection, and it'll be great to see, all things going well, him get his chance for redemption next week, guys.
All right, they've got the best harness horse, they've got the NRL, they've got the AFL. Queensland, it's going all right up there, Adam.
Yeah, they certainly have, haven't they? And, who knows what else they'll win in coming weeks as well. I think they've got their sights set on the Cox Plate as well with Antino. So let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, he's not going terribly either. Tell us a little bit about these summer bonuses in Victoria.
Yeah, this is a really, really interesting one, and I certainly applaud HRV for this. So what they've done is they've revamped their summer carnivals. They have got all of the biggest country cups in Victoria bundled together across 6 weeks, starting early January, going through until mid-February, culminating with the Hunter Cup. And what they've done is, in the pacing division, there's a total of 6 races. If you can win 3 of the first 5 country cups and then add the Hunter Cup, which is the last one, obviously, you will get a $1 million bonus. Now, logically, Leap to Fame's the one horse that can most likely do that. Clearly, it is an attempt, at least at this stage, to get Leap to Fame to base himself in Victoria, and it's been successful. That's what they're going to do. He'll be there for 6 weeks in summer. But they've got a $500,000 one for the trotters as well, and that's exactly the same. Every night there's a big pacing cup, there's a big trotting cup on, win 3 of the 5 lead-ups and win the Great Southern Star on Hunter Cup night, and a trotter will pick up $500,000. So New South Wales has had that across their Carnival of Cups in the country, but you have needed to win every one of those races to get the million. So this is more achievable, but even for Leap to Fame, it's going to be a fair challenge to rock up and win 4 of these races across a 6-week period. But hey, if any horse can do it, it's him, guys.
Indeed. Now, Swayze, talking of Leap to Fame, Swayze, great horses. Where are we at here?
Yeah, I think I mentioned last week, I've copped a bit of criticism for sort of putting the spotlight on him, but it's not meant in a negative way. I mean, we've got to look objectively at the fact that he's a rising 8-year-old and he's been in so many battles. But look, statistically, he's now been beaten at his last 4 starts. He's been beaten both runs this campaign. Now, is he getting fitter? Most likely. He's coming to the Victoria Cup, but I think he's coming with a little bit of the aura gone off him. So this will be one of the great challenges in his career for Jason Grimson over the next month. Can he come back and be a major force in a Victoria Cup, and then when he heads over to try and win a 3rd New Zealand Cup? It's great he's coming down next week. All the teams seem happy with him. Cam Hart is certainly not worried about him, but just at the moment it's hard to see how he could beat Leap to Fame on the way he's gone in his couple of runs this campaign. So rolling through a few other things, Kiyang Zahara, this mighty trotting mare, young trotting mare, of course, she's won 15 of 16. She returns at Melton on Saturday night in race 7, the Group 3 Dullard Cup. But she's drawn the outside 7 and RC Phoenix draws 4. So she's got her work cut out. I'm a little surprised that she's $1.60 favourite from out there. Then we have a look at the stablemate Jillaby Ballerini. She was stunning winning last week, and what a week or so it was for Darcy Gardner, the Brisbane Lions, one of the best on the ground, and he manages the syndicate that races Jillaby Ballerini, who's one of the most exciting trotters in Victoria. I think he darted off overseas and he missed the race last week, but I think he's going to try and hastily get back for not Great Southern Star, Bill Collins next Saturday night, fellas. And also Saturday night at Melton, Victoria Derby heats. Emma Stewart, Clayton Tonkin always dominate those. It's a similar story here. Won't go through them all, but the heats are terrific. We're going to have a great derby. Not quite so in the Oaks. Thin on numbers, some okay quality. I don't think it's a vintage Oaks. Beach Diamond and Let Her Roll for Stewart and Tonkin look the ones to beat in the 2 heats. Saturday night at Menangle, New South Wales Breeders' Challenge semis. Cam Hart, interestingly, is staying up there rather than coming down to drive at Melton on Saturday night. And just going back to last week, obviously Kingman beat Swayze. Luke McCarthy confirming that the emerging 4-year-old Kingman will come down and run in the Victoria Cup next week. So that's your Eastern Seaboard stuff. And then we get to this terrific meeting at Gloucester Park on Saturday night. WA Derby Prelude. It's a different derby, isn't it, with Cyclone Geordie out?
Yep.
And there'll be a lot of focus on this one with Chase Me. Lincoln Lou draws a lot better. Rumble Strip and a few others as well. It's opened up a bit, this derby.
Yeah, absolutely. If we were to put you on the spot now, Adam, with the market, still $1.70, Bet or Fortune's the favourite, $3.60, Chase Me, $6, Jack's Ultimate Fury, $6.50, Lincoln Lou, $8.50, $9 about faking it, $10 Rumble Strip, double figures the remainder of the field.
Yeah, Jack's Ultimate Fury's an interesting one. Really disappointing at Melton last week, but I know the stable's got a terrific opinion of it, and it goes round in the Derby heats here and possibly the Derby final a week after, so I'll watch on it. But, I mean, Better Fortune's going to be hard to beat. Just in that market, I think Chase Me can bounce back this week and will be fitter, and I think Chase Me at the 360 is more attractive than taking $1.70 Better Fortune. You're free for all race 4. Minstrel draws really well in 3. Mr. Smarty 11, G. He's a Sport, also nicely drawn in 2 and never ending in 8. And then the $50,000 4-year-old championship, terrific one this, with Copycat Queen getting the advantage of 1. Sweet Pins, we know the ability, Elder Tribute, Franco Motu, and Just Call Me Mickey, who is utterly untapped and is a big watch going into a race like this. So your Gloucester Park card is right up there over this weekend as well, fellas.
Absolutely. All right, best bets?
Melton Saturday night. These meetings tend to be an Emma Stewart Clayton Tonkin fest, and I think it'll be the same. Anyone who saw Sagano, who I was on last week, will want to be on again this week, out to 3:30. I can't understand the drift. Got out too late, rocketed home. I think this horse is a real star in the making and can get a win on the board in the Derby Heat, race 5, number 3. And I'm also a little bit surprised we can get black and white figures about race 10, number 5, Let Her Roll. There were some markets that have got her $5 to win the Oaks final at the moment. I think she'll win her heat, and she's clearly, very clearly, the one to beat in the Oaks final next week. So have a play in the heat, have a play if you can get anywhere near that $5 to win the final of the Oaks a week later as well, fellas.
All right, beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Adam. And have you backed Sir Delius for a Melbourne Cup yet?
Well, it's this. How good is racing when Gay Waterhouse has got a massive player?
Yeah.
It's just like the reality is she is today's Bart Cummings, isn't she? She takes racing out into the wider world, and at a time we really need it, this is just sensational to have Gay having a massive player in the Cox Plate and also the Melbourne Cup. So all strength to Gay. It's going to be an epic Cox Plate, particularly if Treasure the Moment can make a statement this weekend and get her way through as well, guys. Can't wait for it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Adam. We'll do it all again next Thursday.
Good on you, fellas. All the best.
There's Adam Hamilton. We'll switch our attention a little bit more local now and take a look at that 4-year-old championship, a wide-open 4-year-old championship. Aiden de Campo joins us on the Sports Daily. Good morning to you, Aiden.
Good morning, boys. Are we all right in there today?
We're okay. How are you going?
Just wondering, because I've seen the merger of SCN tomorrow, just making sure he's not getting made redundant or anything like that.
We're working through all of that, mate.
We'll keep you posted.
There's a few yards out here. If you get stuck, all right?
Yeah, thank you. We were concerned about where you were and base. You are the last king of Cape, or all of this, where you are now and what it looks like.
Yeah, well, I do own that horse myself, so it's only fitting for me to name something after myself, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. Now, Copycat Queen in this 4-year-old championship tomorrow night. Are you driving and or training the right horse here?
I think so, guys. She's been super this time in. I thought her last run in the 4-year-old classic at Pinjarra was really, really good. They ran over in blistering time, and she was 4 and 5 wide doing it and still getting through the line. So, look, she's probably not noted as a leader, but I don't think she's ever led in her career. But there's 50,000 reasons tomorrow night to kind of try. So, look, she's got good gate speed. I think the only other time she's drawn one is she could have held Waterloo. So she's got enough gate speed. The only problem I have is if I really rev her up out of the gate, just kind of getting her to settle. So if she settles, the time she can run off the track, if she put them on the fence, you'd think she'd be hard to beat. But it's just she's never led before. So all indications at home suggest that she would be a really good leader. She works in front and struggles to get beat at home. So hopefully everything goes to plan. Just a touch worried about her getting revved up middle stages, but hopefully she can relax nice for us and get the job done.
She's had a pretty long campaign, but no signs of slowing down?
No, not at the moment, Tyler. Kind of, she's been in work a while, but she's had a few breaks between runs. She's had 2 4 to 5 week let-ups where I've just kind of given her an easy week and then gone from there. So, look, she seems to be doing really well. It's that time of year where the mare's starting to feel pretty good with themselves. She's starting to get a good shine to her coat and that as well. So I think she's still on the up and, looking forward to these 4-year races and then into that Mayor's Classic later on next month.
Aiden, the market says, just call me Mickey is your danger. Do you concur with that?
Yeah, quality horse. Obviously drawn the rail as well, so it's probably a main danger. So look, if I can kind of hold up and we have something good enough in the breeze, which in this race as you normally do, we'll try not to give it any daylight if we can.
All right. So who else would you like to talk about on the night? Who's your next best chance?
Probably Rock and Roll Artist is probably my best next best. His numerical form probably doesn't look too good, but he was racing without luck there for a few runs, and then last day he just had to do too much. He went, blistering lead time 3 deep, and by the time we got there, and then we had one out over racing outside of us going a little bit quicker than what we wanted to. So went against the plan. But I think tomorrow night he's dropping a long way in grade. If he can just bounce him off the gate and get to the front, he'll be very hard to beat. I'm really happy with him. He just needs a little bit of luck in running, which he hasn't been getting.
Do you think you can find the top?
Look, Quinton's probably the one in the middle. Change to the hood on tomorrow, just to sharpen him up a little bit off the arm. He's kind of, last couple, he's kind of bounced off the arm real quick for the first 100, then levelled out a little bit. So, look, if I don't hit the gate like I have been, hopefully he can, get out really good and get across. Put a crash helmet on him.
Exactly right. What about the prospects of Dame Valor in the third from a wide gate?
Yeah, she's first up for about 3 or 4 weeks. We had to scratch. She had a bit of an abscess in the warm-up a couple of weeks ago. So she missed a tiny bit of work and she'll need the run. The wide gate doesn't help, but she's out in the wide gate because, she does have a touch of class compared to the rest of the field. So, look, she'll run an honest race. She doesn't normally run a bad one, but tomorrow night just looks a little bit tricky from out there after a little bit of a let-up.
What about race number 6, Better Arcade? Looks like there's a decent horse in this field. How's your charge going?
Yeah, he was disappointing last start. He was really good 2 starts ago and just having a little bit of trouble keeping him right at the moment. He doesn't seem to back up really well week to week. So just gone the 2 weeks in between his work suggests that there's nothing wrong with him. So expect him to return to form. I just think mentally and physically a little bit this time, and he's just not backing up like he could do in the past. So the 2 weeks between runs will do him well, and hopefully we can see the best of him.
What about the chances of the wild card later in the night? I know you drove in trials. You haven't drone in race day this preparation, but what are the reports for the wild card?
Yeah, he's come back a little bit pudgy like the trainer. So, we've had to give him a couple trials, and I think he'll get better and better with the races. I think he raced on Tuesday, so that'll bring him up. He's a good horse when he kind of get the fitness into him, but he'd come back looking like he needed a few, and I think he'll continue to improve. All
right, who are our listeners backing tomorrow night from your perspective?
I think Copycat Queen. You can't underestimate the red rug at Gloucester Park. It's a big help, and if everything goes right for her and she does everything right, the sectional she can run if she does it on the fence. I don't think they'll be able to get over her.
All right, Copycat Queen, race 5, number 1. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not really. It's normally a good time of year to be a Dockers supporter. trade and draft period.
Yeah, that's when.
And then all the hope for next year.
Yeah, it all starts about now, doesn't it? It all starts about
now. Then gets to about round 3, and you've lost the first 3 to North Melbourne and Collingwood and places like that.
Yeah. No, we're just worried about how we're counting our best and fairest, Aiden. We're not worried about the football just at the stage. But all right, good to chat.
Yeah. Right, well, talk to you later, hopefully.
Maybe. See you, mate.
There's Aiden to Campo. All right, a couple of clips for a couple of clubs and people on the way through.
Yeah, no, he's a good man. He's a good man, and best of luck tomorrow night with Copycat Queen in the 4-year-old championship, $50,000 race.
Absolutely, Copycat Queen. So sounds like he's going to try and hold the front from gate 1 there. Main danger on his back. And then gate 2, he was very happy with the way Rock and Roll Artist is going as well. Race 2, number 6. All right, Diggers, we'll get to the Retrovision text line. We're not too far away from a traffic update. We'll catch up with Shayne Williams and then also Trevor Andrews on the other side. Anthony's text in. No way is Oscar Worth pick 2. What's he done? He's a second-round pick. The AFL is trying to prop up the cashed-up basket case. But, yeah, we know the rules around how those well, we sort of know the rules around the compensation. It's not based on what the player's done. It's based on the contract and what he signs going to the new club.
Length of contract and the monetary terms attached to that contract. So it's a 6-year deal, around $900,000 a year. Therefore, it triggers Band 1 compensation. Whether it's right or wrong, it's up for debate. I can certainly understand the point of view if it upsets people, particularly how much football Oscar Allen played this year and what he's done in his career. But those are the terms that trigger Band 1 compensation.
And it's on the back of your first pick in the draft too. So if West Coast had have made the preliminary final, get pick number 17, then Oscar Allen's compensation's pick 18.
Correct, weight.
So because they're pick 1, they get pick 2, the pick straight after. Snoz makes a good point. Don't forget to mention the WAPGA starting today in Kalgoorlie.
Yes.
They wouldn't be far off teeing off, would they?
No. Well, what do we got now? 6:30? No, I wouldn't have thought so. So that's a good shout-out by Snoz, and it's great to see that course. When I haven't played it, I haven't even seen it in the flesh. TC, I'm not sure about yourself, but when you watch it, it's fantastic. Just something completely different.
Yeah.
With all the red dirt and the like. But everyone who's played that course is so very effusive about it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if a lot of our listeners would know, but on YouTube there's a bloke called Ron Chopper. He goes around WA, plays a lot of golf. He released a video earlier this week at Kalgoorlie.
Right.
So sort of to showcase the course before, obviously, the PGA, and might hopefully get a few people tuned in. But
okay,
yeah, trying to hit off that red dirt. I thought it was quite sandy, but it's actual genuine, like rock hard.
Rock hard dirt, yeah.
You got to take a couple extra clubs that you're happy to just bash and chip, and
it makes Ara Lewin look like a.
You'll be able to putt off that though.
Oh, good.
Might help your game.
No, it wouldn't.
Snoz did mention that he was a little bit surprised that he didn't see your name in the starting list there, Diggers.
Well, Snoz, if you saw me putt, you'd understand why. It wouldn't be anywhere near a golf tournament.
No. I thought it was difficult to slice a putter, but...
No, it's not. I've been doing it for 40 years.
Seen you do it. All right. Shayne, not far away.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
Good morning to you, Shayne.
Yeah, morning, boys. How are we today?
We're okay. How are you going?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, Dix. Not too bad at all.
That's good. Cake in tummy?
Cake.
Yeah, got the job done for you. You would have been happy about that, Dix.
Yeah, very happy. Put a smile on my dial.
And a full tummy.
Yeah, and a full tummy. Have you seen that show on one of the TV shows? I don't know which one it is or what channel it is. Is it Cake? Have you seen that, Shayne?
Is it cake?
Is it cake? So people...
Oh, they have to guess if it's cake or it's an actual object.
Yeah, like they might say it's so-and-so, and then then the judges have to guess, is it cake or not? Have you seen that? I probably haven't described it all that well, but I thought with cake in tummy being a canine ATM, Shayne, I thought you might have seen that show.
I'm happy to kick you when you're down, but it is an interesting show, Diggers. It's the way they bake those cakes and make them look real.
Is it cake?
It's a bit scary.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I just eat it.
Yes, you do. God bless you.
What about the ones that get me is like the gender reveal cakes. Like they make them as a baby, and then you've obviously got to cut the cake to eat it. So you it's like a baby.
Wow. Okay.
That gets a bit intense. It's like little Chucky.
Wow.
Eating little Chucky. Okay. Righto, Shayne. We'll need to straighten up. We'll get your selections, please.
What do you want air for?
I don't know. Race 7, number 1, Tinsel Doll will kick things off tonight. She's up in trip, stepping up to the 488. Off the back of a very strong win last start from the wide draw over the 400. I don't think the distance will be any issue as her run-home time was very strong last week, and she gets the red. And as we know, that red over the 488 is a big bonus. So very hard to beat. Race 7, number 1 to kick us off.
All right, where's the next one?
Yeah, 8-5 Pat Card. Interesting name. We're going to spec this ex-Victorian chaser. He's first up in the state for Cody Charles. Nicely bred chaser and some handy placings in okay time at Sandown and Ballarat in Melbourne. So tricky draw, but hoping we can see a first up crush here from the Cody Charles trained Pat Carr. He's got a good record of producing these Victorians first up for wins. So 8-5.
Okay, 8-5 there. The second of your specials. The third, please.
Yeah, running races tonight, gentlemen. 9-5 Miss Money we're just hoping she can find her old box manner. She missed it her last 2 outings, but before that she exploded out of the traps, winning well in 17.08. She's back off a little two-week freshen up here, so hopefully that can bring that early ping back to her game and can land on the arm and go coast to coast. 9-5 to finish us off.
All right. So who would be the standout of those 3, please?
I think Tinsel Dole's come up nice and short. They've stepped into it already as well, boys, but we'll make 7-1 Tinsel Dole the best.
All right, 7-1 the best. Looks like the markets are up already for Mandurah there with Tab Touch too, so we can get involved nice and early. All right, Shayne, enjoy lunch.
Yeah, it's nearly breakfast time here, but yeah.
What?
Might have
Where
a
are
bit
you?
of brunch today.
You're still...
Are you in Sydney?
9:30.
Yeah,
It's not
9:30.
Sydney. 9:30.
9:30 is breakfast time.
Well, you got to do all the work first, TC, and then you finish, and then you get rewarded with breakfast.
Well, what's on the menu for breakfast? This will be good.
Probably just be wheat bix today.
Oh, yeah, I bet it isn't.
Yeah.
I bet it's bacon, eggs, sausages, baked beans and 3 bits of sourdough toast.
Come on.
Give us a spell, Diggs.
Pull your head in.
Righto. Lovely to chat, Shayne. We'll chat tomorrow about cake.
Yeah, we'll take some. Sounds good.
See you, mate.
I have to get one today now. Thanks for that. See you, boys.
Bye.
There we go. What is your favourite type of cake?
Oh, chocolate.
Just a mud cake?
Oh, yeah.
Just a chocolate mud cake. Nice and
The
simple.
old lady used to make a really good chocolate cake.
Yeah, right.
Used to get home from school, off the bus, you'd have chocolate cake and a block of cheese, and you'd go out on the farm and run amok. That was it. Chocolate cake and cheese.
Chocolate cake and cheese.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. A block of cheese and
Seb
piece
in
of
the
chocolate.
producer's room just fell up. Well, he would have fallen off his chair, but he's broken his toe.
Yeah, well, you reckon I'm weird? He's got a busted wheel. He's
Well, that's
in all
not weird.
sorts.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. He's had toe surgery yesterday.
Oh, and he's a Saints fan.
Yeah, he's up and about the St Kilda Football Club, but he's
Like Dockers
getting
fans.
around like a half-open pocket knife at the moment. He's not exactly stretching out.
Yeah, right. Well, there you go. Listeners, text in anything weirder that you've eaten than a chocolate cake and a block of cheese. Let us know.
What's wrong with that?
Well, they just don't really go together.
Well, you have your cake and then you eat your cheese. And
you have your cake and then you eat it too.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Oh, dear me. Anyway, vanilla mud cake for the... That's mine.
Vanilla mud cake?
Vanilla.
What does that mean?
Well, it's just vanilla.
So it's a vanilla cake? What's the mud part?
I don't know. It's called a vanilla mud cake.
Right. Okay.
Pat Cummins, before we talk to Trevor Andrews, who's not too far away. He's got a good team at Ascot Saturday. Out of the first test.
Yeah, that's concerning. There'd been a bit of talk about Pat Cummins and that back injury and
stress fracture. As soon as you see that,
and look, that's fast bowlers. That's their lot. Stress fractures in their back, side strains, muscle tears. You know, when they obviously exert, when they're ripping that shoulder down to deliver the ball at speed repeatedly. There's always going to be some areas of concern there. And tell me a fast bowler who hasn't had side strains and stress fractures in their back. Dennis Lilly famously was in a full cast with his back in the day. So Scott Boland steps up, you would think, but yeah, it's not ideal. And to be fair, it's probably the first time Pat Cummins has experienced something like this since early doors in his career.
Yeah.
Like he made his debut at the Wanderers against South Africa, I think as a 19-year-old, and then shortly after that sustained some injuries which ruled him out of competitive cricket for a long period of time. So, yeah, just a watch on him. You would think it would just be the one test, sadly.
No, you wouldn't think so, especially if you're sort of being ruled out this far in advance. It's clearly not well, and he's clearly hasn't done too much work whatsoever.
It's all about that conditioning. You're right.
Yeah.
Getting those...
say, for example, he comes back for Test 3 and 4. Is he going to play Test 5? Probably not.
Correct. Yep.
So, unfortunately, the silver lining in the whole thing is you've got a ready-made replacement who would probably be your number one bowler in any other Test side around the world.
Well, his numbers are ridiculous, aren't they?
And he's number 4 in Australia somehow.
Staggering. What Scott Boland has been able to do from a pretty condensed time in his international career, we've seen him at first-class level for Victoria, but internationally, what he's done, as a mature, fast bowler, coming in his mid-30s, it's quite phenomenal, really. It really is.
Has he played a test in Perth?
Scott Boland?
Question
Not
without
sure.
notice.
I don't know. I'll find
Clearly
out.
had a lot of success every time he's played at the MCG, and that seems when they sort of pick him at, which makes a lot of sense. He's a Victorian.
Yeah.
Bowls very well there. The quicker Perth pitch, maybe at that time of the year, it'll be nice and fast.
He'll be a real handful. He'll be a handful. He's very...
Just hits the same spot every single time.
Yeah, exactly right. No, he's played 14 tests. He's taken 62 wickets, average of 16.53. He's taken 2 5-wicket hauls, a 10-wicket haul. On 2 occasions, he's taken 4 wickets. So, best bowling, we know the figures 6 for 7. Best bowling that's in an innings. Best bowling in the match 10 for 76. But the economy rate's great. The average is outstanding. So, 62 wickets in 14 matches. It's been a very, what's he now, 36 and a half years, Scott Boland. So, yeah, it's been quite remarkable, really. It's been terrific.
Yeah, all right.
Made his debut at 32, TC.
Steve Smith will captain?
Correct, Wade. Yes, he will.
All right,
yes, he will.
Series winner for the Ashes, Australia $1.60. The draw's at $8. England at $3.15. Draw, no bet. Series winner $1.42. Australia. England at $2.80.
Well, England would be rapt that Cummins isn't playing in the first test, and if he happens to play in the series, he's not going to be at full throttle, you wouldn't think, physically, because he's arguably the best bowler in the world, Pat Cummins. Like Boland, he's perhaps a little bit quicker, but he hits, those leg cutters that he bowls. He's a ripper, and he can bowl at that one speed, high 130s, around that 140 mark, just spell after spell after spell. He gives the batsman no peace.
Well, those consistent bowling spells against the English who, they don't want to sit there for 3 overs and just sort of wait it out and stand back in their crease and block it.
No.
They'll be running down the pitch.
Yeah, no, look, that's from an England viewpoint, it's a good result, and it's disappointing for Australia.
All right, give us a series score, nice and early.
3-1.
3-1 Australia?
3-1 Australia.
$7.
$7. They're capable of winning a test if everything goes right, England. They just are.
Sir Delius in the cup into that?
Oh, well, what price Sir Delius in the Melbourne Cup? Pretty short now, isn't he? I just have a nag on him at 2 miles.
Oh.
I have a nag on him at 2 miles. I need to see him do it.
Okay.
And do I want to jump into what price is he with Tab Touch now?
Good question. Keep talking about why you don't like him and I'll find him.
Yes.
The Melbourne Cup market.
He's a Frankel. I'm just
$3.80.
Yes.
No.
I'm not coming to him at $3.80. If you got him prior to that and prior to him just going on a tear in the spring, good luck to you. But $3.80 in a Melbourne Cup, effectively a month out for a horse who needs to tick that 3,200 metre box, not for me.
Yeah, all right. If you did miss our chat earlier on in the week with Jamie Lovett from Australian Bloodstock, he was very keen on the chances of El Riffa. Does have to carry a lot of weight in the Melbourne Cup. Would have to buck some recent history, but at $5.50 on the second line of betting, you can head back to the podcast, tabradio.com.au, or just search the Sports Daily wherever you listen to your podcasts, and you'll be able to hear from Jamie Lovett and give El Riffa a nice pump up. But locally, nice team going to the races for Trevor Andrews Racing. The trainer Trevor joins us on the Sports Daily this morning. Good morning to you, Trevor.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Very well, Trevor. Great to have a chat to you. Good morning. Firearm is an interesting runner at Ascot on Saturday. This son of shooting to win, well named. He looked like he had plenty to give in that recent trial. What is he showing behind the scenes?
Yeah, we've been pretty happy with him all along the way. He's pretty forward. He's out of an Oratorio mare, which are early going type horses. Didn't pay a lot of money for him. Come from Willaview, paid $30,000, but no, he's been really straightforward, and we were pretty pleased with the way he trialled. His work's been pretty positive, so hasn't drawn too favourably, but I don't think that's a negative. There looks to be a lot of speed in it. He'll just be sitting back and hopefully finishing off like he did in his trial.
Do you target early season 2-year-olds at these sort of races, or is it just a fact that they sort of get there, if you know what I mean?
Oh, they're all kids. We just bring them along quietly, and the ones that are putting their hand up and not feeling their shins and still doing well in the feed bin, we sort of take it step by step and play on. But this bloke's been really straightforward. He's so no issues along the way and continues to do well. So, you know, they're the ones we play on with, and the ones that don't cope with it too well, we just give them a bit more time.
OK, so that is Firearm in the opener on what promises to be a massive day there at Ascot. What about the prospects of Costa Zeta in race 4 over the 1,100 metres, Trev?
Yeah, nice race for him. Back on good ground. His sort of form during the winter was not too good on wet tracks. Last start at Belmont, he probably over-raced a little. So, no negatives about him. His work's been good. A little bit of a tricky gate. We'd like to try and probably ride him a little bit more conservatively and see if he can sort of relax and finish it off. But happy with his fitness. Just needs a bit of luck from a tricky gate.
What do you think his best distance is?
Looking at the horse, you think he'd be a nice 1,400 miler, but he gets too keen, so that's hence why I've sort of dropped him back in trip so that there's a bit more genuine speed on. I think 1,000 to 1,200 is probably ideal for him, but if he can learn to conserve energy and then finish it off, he's got a really good turn of foot and a big stride length, so that'll put him in good stead when he puts it all together.
Now, All Play back at the races. We're excited. I dare say you are as well.
Yeah, really, really pleased with him. I've had some issues with his feet all along the way, but touch wood this time, he's been sound as a bell and he's racing in normal shoes and he's very bright in himself. He's come on good since his trial. He's had a couple of an easy gallop and a solid gallop, so his fitness is better and he's drawing a favourable gait. So, barring bad luck, he should run very well.
What level do you think he can get to this campaign?
Well, he's got a untapped ability. His soundness has always been his issue, but I'd like to see him relax a bit better and then, hopefully sort of work his way towards a Winterbottom or one of those sort of higher-end races. He's certainly got the ability, but he can over-race a bit, so he needs to sort of improve his racing mannerism as such.
OK, so that's All Play. It was a lovely trial from a horse who's clearly well above average, and I think the same applies to the stablemate Luana Miss. The trial was good, Trev, albeit you've come up with a sticky gate.
Yeah, we'll just take our medicine and ride it back. Looks to be a pretty hot race. Like all of these horses, it's not their grand final, so, we'll just be patient, and I'm sure she'll be finding the line strongly if that pattern's suiting on the day. But she's in really good order. She too has come on good since she trialled, so no negatives with her. But just the barrier, forces us to probably just be a bit more patient with her.
Has she developed during the spell?
No, she's not a big filly. She's quite petite and fine, and doesn't have the biggest constitution, but she's got a big motor, so you can't have everything.
Were you satisfied with the first up performance of Deal Her In?
Yeah, I was, yeah. Well, she got poleaxed out of the barriers. If you watch the Head-On Stewards film, she was lucky to stay on the feet. And then Sean was forced to sort of get a bit of aggressive to try and pick up a spot again, and she subsequently over-raced and still finished it off really good, only got beat a short margin. I didn't have her that wound up for the race, but she's come on really well. Probably would have appreciated a 14 for a second up. But it is what it is. But no, she's come through that race well. Fitness is good. So I'm looking forward to a pretty good showing from her.
We had a chat to Pete Morley a couple of weeks ago, Trev, and he was, aiming high with this girl, and you can understand why. She is a listed winner as a 3-year-old. How do you get her to some of those better races?
This might be a bit too soon this time round for us, but we'll just go through our classes, and if she steps out of the ground and she's performing really well, we might step her up or race her out of a grade. But basically, just go through her grades and just do the basics, I think, and worry about, the big picture when she's eligible.
Absolutely. It's a pretty hot race, that 10th race on the program. It's staying at 1,200 metres. You sort of touched on it there. Do you think she can win second up staying at the 12th? Wouldn't
surprise me. She's come on really well. Work's been super. Looks a treat. Come good in the coat and lost all the winter coats. So, she's got a serious motor. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
How's Ascot looking?
Yeah, it looks magnificent. Can't wait. It's exciting to get back there. been a pretty depressing 6 months for everybody in the industry with, the weather, Belmont Park issue, having to trek to Bunbury and Pinjarra. No atmosphere at the races, but it's really looking forward to getting back to Ascot. Absolutely.
Fingers crossed there's a nice atmosphere on Saturday and the beers are cold. Thanks, Trevor.
Cheers, guys. Have a good day.
There's Trevor Andrews taking a look at his team heading to the races at Ascot on Saturday, and a very nice team at that.
Yeah, it's a good little 2-year-old race. I'm always intrigued with these babies that we get to see for the first time on race day, and I love the trial of a few of them. There was a nomination. Kilkenny King was nommed, not accepted, so hopefully all is okay. He's a 2-year-old. He may well have gone shinny there for Steph. I'm not entirely sure, but he caught the eye at the trials at Belmont on the 30th of September, as did Firearms. So he'll probably be spotting some of his opposition a few lengths turning for home, but he cruised up in his trial to run third behind Sovereign Rock, who obviously meets here again on the weekend.
All right, 10 races on the program. Of course, Inside Running, we'll have it all covered here on TAB Radio at Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. You'll have to get through each race nice and quickly, Diggers.
Yes,
10 races.
10 races, 10 of the best.
Absolutely. So it'll be a nice day out there at Ascot. I think we spoke about the weather at the moment, 23 and sunny.
Midday start.
Perfect.
Yep, can't wait.
Got your suit ready?
No, I won't be wearing a suit.
You won't be wearing a suit?
Is there an echo in here, is there?
Yeah, you just heard it.
Right.
Well, try to help you.
I'm beyond help, you know that. Aren't we all?
Yeah. Well, help. All right, out to a break. We'll come back shortly.
TAB Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham with you. All right, we touched on it a little bit earlier, Diggers, and you're not too happy with Craig McRae over the last 2 weeks or so.
No, that's just the last week. Last week. Oh, look, his comments. When was your best and fairest? Was it Friday or Saturday? Last Friday?
Collingwood's best and fairest.
And then he mentioned about, Nick Dacos at the start of when he gave his speech, or maybe, Nick Dacos, he needs a few more 16 possession games. So that's a light-hearted dig at Matt Rao winning a Brownlow medal on the back of some games where he didn't have a heap of the football. So that's disrespectful for mine. It's
if it's a club-only event, you have a laugh, fine, but it's a Collingwood best and fairest. You know there's going to be cameras and it's going to get out.
Yeah. And look, if that's Damien Hardwick making that comment when talking about Noah Anderson and it's Matt Rao, I say, yeah, okay, But then he says that knowing full well that the Copeland Trophy winner, Darcy Cameron, was in the room, clearly, obviously, but he votes on the Copeland Trophy along with his assistants.
Would he know the winner beforehand?
Of course he would. Of course he would. So he's voting on that. So he knows when he goes there that, and so would their team, in terms of those involved with the production of the night, would know that Darcy Cameron is going to be crowned club champion. So you look like a goose, first off. There's no two ways about that because you're making reference. And then he's now in the media yesterday, Craig McRae saying, we're going to have a look at the voting process. Perhaps, had we a different structure, and some clubs do it differently. Nick Dacos could have won the Copeland Trophy. Oh, by the way, Darcy Cameron's a worthy winner of the Copeland Trophy. If I'm Darcy Cameron, I'm thinking, what on earth's going on here? You're downgrading and belittling my victory. And it's a deserved win. And sometimes a player, you think, he'll win the club champion, and he does it. That's okay. But I just thought it was, I don't think it's been his best week.
No. No, apparently there were reports Peter Dacos stormed out of the room as well.
Yeah, now I don't know whether that's... I don't know what time. Like, he did leave the Copeland Trophy count, Peter, but there's conflicting stories as to when. Was it at the time when Nick had won the Copeland Trophy? Was it when Craig McRae was talking about Nick Dacos? That hasn't been made clear, I don't think. But, I don't know. He can sometimes say some things, Craig McRae, like all coaches, you go, it's a little bit odd. And I think he's had a couple of odd moments in the space of 6 or 7 days.
Won a best and fairest, Darcy Cameron, without polling a vote in the Brownlow.
Yeah, well, there you go. And to be fair, Darcy Cameron did a mountain of work this year. Like we spoke,
massive.
he was huge. He was terrific.
Played every game.
Every game. He's battered. He's invariably got a bandage on his head. He's backing into contests. You see him always at the bottom of a pack. He's being helped up by his teammates. His body is fatigued at the end of a game. So he's a worthy winner of the Copeland Trophy. And, I don't know. I don't think we've heard Damien Hardwick or the Gold Coast Suns sort of return fire to Craig McRae. They will have their opportunity, you would think, early next year when, they pop their head up and they speak in that space. But, I would have thought, and I'm not sure anyone at Collingwood's going to pull Craig McRae up, but I think it's been a little bit unsavoury, that's all.
Exactly right. All right. Well, Darcy Cameron, his development's been some of the really positive development of any player over the last
wonderful.
3 or 4 years.
And to be fair, well done to Collingwood and well done to Darcy Cameron. They're going to continue their association with that extension that he signed mid to late year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned a little bit just quickly, Jamara Ugle-Hagan, Gold Coast.
Yeah, flying to the Gold Coast as we speak, TC. He will undergo a medical and it is expected the board will tick off on Jamara signing with the Gold Coast Suns, a trade yet to be struck with the Bulldogs.
All right, Jamara Ugle-Hagan sounds like he's going to be in Gold Coast colours, and hopefully Christian Petrarca, from their point of view, joins him. We're back with a little bit of chat about the form around Ascot Saturday after this.
Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Tyler Cortland and Digby Beecham with you. As we said, $100 Tab Touch voucher up for grabs if you take on Diggers. His best bet today is Rainline at York. Why is this horse going to win, Diggers?
I just thought third up on top of the ground, comes out of stronger form races than this one. First up, ran third to Elite One recently, wasn't horrible on a heavy track. We need to see her recapture some of her best form. And I think we've all been waiting because she was a horse that I think flashed a fair bit early doors. But the 2 runs I wouldn't be putting a line through. I think they've been more than okay. And today she hits a very, very winnable assignment there at York, I would have thought.
Yeah, that time of the year where these horses have been running around on the soft or heavy tracks and they get back on top of the ground and they can turn their form around pretty quickly. Slammers hit the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571. Jamara Ugle-Hagan going to the Gold Coast will surely push some others out. Ethan Reid, Ben King, Jed Walter will not all fit in their forward line.
No, it's a really, really intriguing.
He surely doesn't play in round one. He's got to earn his spot, surely, doesn't he?
Well, that's what the summer's for. Like, if he busts his backside and ticks every box over summer, he'll be there round one. Absolutely. Like
Ben King, Jamara, and then you probably need to play a second ruckman in the forward pocket.
Perhaps, but you're getting him for a reason because you think he can complement what you already have. So, look, it's a bold call given the issues he's had, but Jamara did speak last week and said, look, it's been a tough year. He said he's had 12 family funerals this year, and he said, each time it's very draining naturally, and, he's obviously with his Indigenous heritage, their extended families and the like, so that would knock anyone around having to attend so many funerals, and, they're not the most pleasant times of your life, funerals, that we know. So, look, he needs to, well, clearly he needs to get out of Melbourne. I think he's hanging with the wrong crew. That's putting it mildly as well. He's found himself being aligned to some people that he shouldn't be. Maybe the Gold Coast, as silly as it sounds, is a good spot for him. That's always been a spot, hasn't it, the Gold Coast? You go, I'm not sure if that's a good spot for so-and-so, but just getting out of Melbourne, fresh start, and maybe a fresh environment as well. Just going to ease the anxiety levels because he's admitted a little bit of that with his mental health. So watch this space.
Do you have a feel on the new rule that might come in, if it does come in, the last touch? And we know later this month there's going to be an AFL Commission meeting and they might discuss that. It might come in, it might not.
Yeah.
At this stage, in terms of ruckman, and you say Jared Witts goes off the field for 10 minutes, and are you going to have less stoppages, do you think? Whereas you might be able to get away with a lesser known ruckman, like you play at Jed Walter as your second ruck and he only has to attend a couple of stoppages.
Yeah.
How it's going to change your strategy around that second ruckman?
To be fair, I haven't seen enough AFLW or Sandful football to make an accurate assessment on it, but both leagues are very satisfied with the rule. The Sandful's been going with it for a few years now, And, and every time it's been mentioned in dispatches, everyone says, it's worked a treat in the Sandful. So I personally can't comment on that. I don't know. What do you have a view over?
No, I was hoping you did.
Yeah,
to help educate me, because I'm not.
I don't know. It looks like it's coming in.
Yeah, it does. Just trying to think back to games. I'm not sure. Like, everyone seems to think it's going to really take away a lot of boundary throw-ins, but you think back to games, you probably, and the players are going to adjust, so they're obviously not going to try and kick it out.
Do we think there might be more corridor football? Or when you're exiting your back half, are you going to be a little bit braver with ball in hand?
Maybe.
Because,
going towards the wing, you maybe go 5 metres towards the corridor.
Is that a good thing? I think that's a good thing.
I think that's a good thing, yeah. I'm just trying to think if teams now, like going forward, do we get to the mid-stage of the year and every team's going to go with just the one ruckman? As opposed to you need 2 ruckmen in your side, or...
Well, I think a perfect balance is 1 ruckman and I know Fremantle... I know Fremantle sort of do it a little bit differently with Darcy and Jackson, but Jackson can be that big 6'8" midfielder, can't he?
Yeah.
But I think the perfect is a ruckman who does 80 to 85% of the work, and then a forward pinch hits for 15% of the game. I think that seems to be the model, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A Brody Grundy does what he does, and then maybe a so-and-so goes forward, jumps up and down a bit, wraps his arms around another big man at a contest, and the ball hits the ground and umpire picks out a free kick.
Yeah, well, it just means you get another midfielder into the side or another half forward, which adds speed, which adds pressure, which the way the game's going is just all about pressure. Your number one sort of marker you need to be good at is pressure.
Yep.
Richard from Kalgoorlie's gone bang.
Oh.
Let's not forget that Buckaroo is running in the Melbourne Cup. Valiant King showed us what he is capable of. El Riffa, be lucky to finish top 10.
Lucky to finish top 10. Oh,
I like it.
I think if he rocks up, he could well finish top 10, Richard, but I'll take your comments on board. I think he might be...
game, we love it.
We do. He might be... he's going to have to carry some big weight, no doubt, El Riffa, but I think he's pretty good.
What about that on Saturday? What do we do with Treasure at the moment? Buckaroo win? $1.75 Treasure at the moment, $2.60 Buckaroo. This is in the Might and Power. $7.50 Globe. Light Infantryman at $14. He's a shocker at $51. So small field. They're probably going to go along genuine enough. Globe is like an on-speed runner. Light Infantryman's not going to want to sit and sprint, so they might click it up from about the 800 despite it being a small field. But Treasure at the moment was good last time, but geez, the preparation hasn't exactly been smooth.
No. You'd like to think now it's back on track. There was that setback, clearly, with a slight bout of colic, and we know that she missed a race. Look.
I thought Buckaroo last time was huge.
Yeah, both runs have been good.
Yeah.
Both runs this time have been excellent. So, Pride of Jenny, Valley, that greyhound track that it can be and can be leader dominated. She's always a tough proposition there, isn't she? I'd expect Damien to be really positive with Treasure at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I think she's the one. Market says she's the one, but yeah, I think she is the one.
All right. Where was Suey's? He made a good point here. Digby was ahead of the times. It's now known as cheesecake.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a bit of chocolate cake, TC, after school. Your boys will start that in a few years' time.
Chocolate cake?
Yep.
Oh, they don't need that.
Don't need little rats.
I told you the story off air, but I found them in the cutlery drawer yesterday.
Yeah.
They're tall enough now to reach.
Yep.
All the drawers are like locked together, but now they're strong enough as well to open all 4 at once.
Right.
Oh, Isaac had about a knife that was about a metre long.
What, in his possession?
Yeah.
That's good parenting.
Unreal. Well, I got home yesterday. I just needed to sit down for 5. Just gather my thoughts for a bit. Yeah. And then the kids got into the knife drawer. So I thought, Chucky, g'day.
They probably took it away from you.
Not there just yet. Goodness gracious. Coops has said with the news yesterday with SEN, and as we said off the top, SEN, based on some due diligence that they need to do, probably at some stage during November, they'll be buying Tab Radio. Hopefully things don't change. Been tuning in for 15 plus years, and insights you guys give into racing and sports is first class. So thank you very much for that, Coops.
Yes, thank you, Coops.
And Mark from Vic Park, tomorrow for the tipping races, can Diggers please give his tips?
Oh, Yeah, I can. I'm just trying to think out what we're going to have in those tipping races.
Oh,
I'll work through that today, and we'll come.
Going to have the Max Simmons.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Are we going to touch on the Max Simmons now? We can give an early thought there.
We're going to have the Toorak.
Yeah, the Toorak might find its way there.
Caulfield Guineas.
Yeah, we're going to have a heavy Melbourne flavour. I'm not sure about that card at Sydney, to be fair.
There's a few there at Perth we could put in. At Ascot?
Yeah.
At Perth.
At Perth. No, I can assure you we're not putting in the Hill Stakes.
It's a $2 million race.
Yeah, well, that's Peter V'landys off his head. That's not a $2 million race. Well, it is, but it shouldn't be. That's what I'm trying to...
It is, but it's not.
Well, the Turnbull was $750,000, and it was a proper race. In all due respect to some of the runners in this race, this is a $2 million race. Light Infantryman, Lindemann, Faulkner Park, Boy d'Argent, Kovalika, Attrition, Militarise, Wetor, Elamaz, Kingswood, Palmetto, Converge, Mason, Louis, Our Gold Hope. Our Gold Hope.
What do we have in a Turnbull for $750? We had the Melbourne Cup equal favourite. We had the Caulfield Cup favourite. We had the Cox Plate favourite.
So give me a spell. So that is definitely not going in the tipping races. Good morning, Peter V'landys.
Boycotting Sydney.
Yep. Yes, we are. Or yes, I am.
I know Tim used to kick up for Sydney, but I agree with you. That's terrible. That's shocking.
Give me a spell. No. So it'll be Melbourne and Perth only in the tipping races.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Jeez. I like it when you get heated.
Well, you ain't seen anything yet.
Excuse me.
Just wait a while.
All right. The Max Simmons. Let's take a look at this field. We'll go runner by runner.
Okay. Oh, okay. Righto.
Well, I think it deserves it. We've got some horses here that we're going to need to follow throughout the carnival.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with number 1, Talking Co, the returning Karrakatta Plate champion. We haven't seen her since the Karrakatta Plate. Her trial over the 1,000 metres, I thought was very good.
It was behind All Play. Now, we had a good chat to Trevor prior to 7 o'clock, and he was quite bullish about All Play's campaign upcoming, and he said now that he's sound and well, hopefully we can keep him in that space, and if we do, perhaps we can get our way to a Winterbottom. I'm thinking Talk and Co. trial good, positive. Figures out of her autumn campaign naturally were really strong, as you would expect, given you run third in a Supremacy, you win a Gimcrack, and then you win a Karrakatta. Barrier 1 is a help. She's at best, I thought, perhaps 3 back the fence. Looking for her at 12 and beyond for me.
Yeah.
Would that be fair from her? I'm not saying she can most definitely win. She can most definitely win on Saturday. I'm looking for her to be really strong at the back end of this 1,000-metre event.
Yeah, I wasn't totally convinced Barrier 1 was a help.
No.
Thinking that 1,200 metres and 1,400 metres might be her best because she didn't take a lot of riding, but once she was asked, she'd just take that little bit of time to build her momentum. Being gate 1 over 1,000 at Ascot, I wasn't sure was super suitable first up.
Yep.
But I expect her to be hitting the line, and I expect a lot of people to probably follow her next start at 1,200 metres.
Yes.
King's Court, gate number 6 is 50-1. Mixed form thus far in his career, but he's going to provide a little bit of a speed element to the race.
Yeah, he is. He's a fast horse. He's been schooled up with 2 400-metre trials, one on the 15th of September, the other one on the 30th of September. He won them both. I always find it hard to get a handle on how a horse is going as a 3-year-old and beyond when they've had just the 400s, but Luke uses that tactic a fair bit. He's a fast horse. He'll jump, he'll run, he'll give them something to catch.
The map, if it works out how I thought, King's Court probably sits outside Twisted Steel, who's the favourite at 235. I thought William Pike would be pretty positive with his horse, who's trialled really, really well. They broke a minute over the 1,000. It looked like he still had something left in that trial. He's going to be out in front, Ascot, opening day, 1,000 metres. You can understand why his 235 ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, he does. And I'm intrigued because there's been good support for him, as you'd expect. Pike, Miller, 3-year-old, fresh, Ascot, 1,000 metres. So boxes are ticked left, right and centre there. Just wondering how much shorter he can get. And I don't know the answer, TC, because there is some very nice horses in this race. There is some really good horse flesh in this race. But if we're thinking, the fence and or all over the speed over 1,000 metres at Ascot, often that's the recipe for success, he could get awfully short. He could get shorter than what he is now.
Starts with a 1 in front of his name.
I'm not saying it starts with a 1, but he might, I don't know. It wouldn't be a shock if he does. Conversely, if he does get a little bit easier as we get closer to jump time, I can see the logic behind that as well. I just find him a really difficult horse to assess price-wise.
Well, $3.60 he opened, equal favourite with Talk & Co. Talk & Co. $3.60 out to $4.40. Twisted Steel $3.60 into $2.35.
Yeah, so it's been good money. And that's, I think, also a little bit of map as well. People think, well, this horse is going to jump, run and be right over the speed, whereas the other one, who is a very good horse, group horse, that we know, perhaps spotting him 3 or 4 and can she gun him down?
Yeah. A lot of the main dangers too, Twisted Still are going to be back in the field. So I think, like you said, probably if he does get really short, that probably means there's been a pattern developing on the day, I thought. I just thought there's just a lot of other horses in this field with really good figures. I just couldn't see him starting too much shorter than $2.30, but I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again.
We'll see.
Rostislav, for number 4, draws barrier 7. I think it looks a little bit sticky. His win down the straight there at Pinjarra couldn't have done much more. That was uber impressive. The form's been okay out of the race. Just struggled to map him a little bit. No, I thought his trial was good without being outstanding.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. One thing he did do in the trial, he still found he was quite keen, mouth open. It's not what you want to see either in a race or a trial from a horse. And often when you do, they do knock up late in their respective trial or race. He didn't. He was good. Now, he only gunned down Mighty Hosanna, who probably hasn't scaled the heights that some thought she would. She's a handy enough mare. But I think he's a nice horse. I'm just thinking this race, at this stage of his career, with his manners, might be beyond him.
Yes, Queen, number 5 in the race, $6 and $2.05. Dion Luciani, Chris Parnham has trialled well. Still looks to get a little bit keen, even in the trials. That was probably the knock last preparation. She ran some massive races, but just if she was a little bit more professional in her racing manners, she could be anything. From gate 9, probably going to have to take their medicine.
And that's where she might get keen. You know, she could get keen, potentially really stick if she doesn't settle for Chris. She's going to be parked out the back and perhaps wide. So the first 50 to 100 metres of this race, really important for her. If she can spit the bit out, if they elect to take hold and just find the bum and do everything right, watch for her flashing late.
Yeah, absolutely. Luana Miss, we spoke to Trevor Andrews a little bit earlier on in the show. You can catch up with the podcast, miss anything there. Really positive reports around Luana Miss. Hasn't really developed over the time out, but she's a very light-framed filly. Again, probably the gate's the killer. I struggled to map her, but listening to Trevor, they're probably just going to take the medicine. She'll end up near last and hopefully hits the line.
Yeah, well, she's a really, really intriguing runner because she is a stakes performer, and she started $2.40 in a gymcrack when she didn't have any luck. She was wide and things didn't go right on that occasion. Tipped out, didn't proceed to the Karrakatta. She's got that Yes Queen form line as well, so that stands out. She's a good filly. It's just, again, she'll have to go back. Watch for her hitting the line well. If they're overdoing it up top or if they go too steady and you can build your momentum 3 deep with cover and blend in, she's a knockout chance.
Delta Sun, I know a horse that you like, probably the 1,000 metres is going to be a little bit short of his best. He's going to be back in the field again, probably run off his legs, but watch for him in the final furlong.
Yeah, he's a maddie. I'll be, putting him in the quaddie, Delta Sun, just because I think he's a pretty handy horse. Now, is he suited at 1,000 metres? No. Has he got a good race in him? I think he has. I like the horse, Delta Sun.
All right, we'll watch him. Storm Away. Draw soft, should get a good run for Mitchell Pateman and Holly Watson.
Yeah, we'll need that soft run to feature in the top 3 or 4, you would think.
Probably the same can be said for Flying Frankie.
Yeah.
Gate 3, Mitchell Pateman, Patrick Carey.
Sorry, outclass TC here.
Yep. Snitzalate. Looks like, of the dangers, and I say dangers, those horses in single figures probably going to get the best run outside of Twisted Steel in this race. It's a funky run first up in the fact that she looked gone at the 300 and then picked herself up at the 200 and hit the line really well, suggesting to me the 1,000 might be a little bit short. So she stays at the 1,000. That's a key knock for mine.
Yeah, look, you're right. It was a really odd run, wasn't it? Because she looked every bit like a 12, 14, 1,600 metre filly where we were thinking maybe, it was Playing It Sweet who won that race was going to be the filly best suited over 7 or 8 furlongs. It's just I found it a strange run. Playing It Sweet was sort of held up and then dashed through that gap. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do with Snitzalate. She's got Lucy on. She's got a beautiful gait. She's got the benefit of a run under her belt. She is a second-up winner previously, and she's a good filly. So the market will tell the story here, I think, as we get closer to jump time.
Yeah, I think at 1,200 metres she's probably 2 points shorter than the $6.50. But like you said, interesting horse. Clearly has the class to win the race like this, but just a small nag staying at the 1,000 metres. Artie's Eclipse drawn a little bit sticky. Didn't have too bad form last time, but this is a step up.
Much like Flying Frankie, I think, outclassed.
All right, so it sounds like if you're having a bet in the race, it'll be around Twisted Steel.
Yeah. Look, I couldn't tip into him at the moment. I think he's short enough.
Have you completed your market yet?
No, I have not. Okay. No, I have not. Not yet. But I would have thought for mine he's around that 250, 260 mark.
Yeah, I was 260 at 100%.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. He's similar to that. But I'll be getting some out in the market. Some that are here with the price that they are, I think they'll start a little bit bigger than that. And naturally they do because the market's got to condense itself, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Twisted Steel, I'd like, obviously, 260. If I've marked him at 260, I'd like to have a bet there outside of him. You know, maybe if Snitzelate drifts significantly just on spec, and maybe a place heavy bet on Snitzelate. But really looking forward to the race. I think we're going to learn a lot. We'll come in on Monday morning, we'll dissect it, and I think we might be able to pick off a couple of feature races that these horses might be heading to and be really competitive in.
Yeah, exactly right. No, it's a good race, the Max Simmons, on what promises to be an outstanding day there at headquarters.
1 of 10.
One
got a bit of form
10.
To do.
Yeah, exactly right. That will start post-show today.
All right, good. All right, we'll get out to the roads and we'll come back and we'll take a look at the East Coast racing-wise on Saturday. Diggers has already poo-pooed Sydney, so we'll see how we go.
Red Tab Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Welcome back to the Sports Daily. All right, we'll catch up with Nick Ashman and Jules Vallance very, very shortly. They are filming Foxcatcher at the moment, so just a couple of minutes late.
Okay.
Well, that's what Nick just texted. So.
Now, the Victorian Jockeys Association has provided an update on apprentice jockey Tom Preble 1 month after his fall at Warrnambool. VGA Chief Executive Officer Matt Hyland said there had been no change or improvement in Tom's condition following his spinal cord injury. The following were Matt Hyland's comments. Speaking with Tom, he has advised that 4 weeks on from his fall, he has no feeling or sensation below the T4 level of his spine. With the support of the outstanding team at Talbot, Tom has already learned to transfer from his wheelchair to bed in and out of a car and begun working through the many challenges associated with a spinal cord injury. He added that surgery to stabilise the T4 fracture in Tom's spine had been successful and that a hard neck brace remained in place for a separate fracture, pending a review in the coming days. And he indicated that Tom's key goal was to be able to return to his home before the end of the year. So that's the update, unfortunately, with young Tom Preble.
Well, unfortunately, we had to touch on it on Monday, didn't we? Just the tough, probably going back 18 months now for Victorian racing and some of the personnel there. Warren Huntley.
Yeah.
We know what happened at, unfortunately, Nat Young and Trent Busselton's stables about halfway through the year with a stable hand there. Tom Preble, Mike Maroney.
Yeah.
It's been a shocking year.
It has. It's been a really challenging year for a lot of people in racing on the East Coast, and clearly the Preble family's been impacted here, TC.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Brett was down to appear in Kalgoorlie for the sportsman, but clearly extenuating circumstances there, as you've just outlined. He wasn't able to make it, and rightfully so. I don't think anyone begrudged him doing that.
No.
Whatsoever. All right, we'll catch up with Nick Ashman very shortly. As I say, they're just a little bit busy, the boys, Jules and Nick, but looking forward to chatting about this Caulfield Guineas. I know you don't like Wotan Diggers.
No, that's not true.
Into $3.50.
There you go. Up you go, son.
So you've had a bet?
No, I have not. I'm not moving that market, but he needs a Group 1 win, doesn't he? He doesn't need anything.
He doesn't need anything.
He'll find his way to stud, but for the sake of
the old man, every Wootton Bassett colt now will be given every possible chance to get to stud.
Well, I saw something on BreedNet or RaceNet overnight, TC, about here it is. The late Wootton Bassett had 2 colts sell overnight for 2.2 million guineas at Tattersalls October yearling sale.
So conversion there.
No. A lot of money. But, yeah, like the progeny of Woot and Bassett, clearly they're not making any more of them going forward, so they're going to be quite prized possessions, and Woden has a key role to play here, you would think, in the Southern Hemisphere, if he can nab that Group 1.
Yeah, exactly right. So $3.50 Woden. We'll talk to Jules Vallance about this race. $4.60 Autumn Boy. Navy Pilot into 7.
That's short. On top, or is he not? The Vinnie Colt?
$12 yesterday.
Was he?
It's a bit slow. Vinrock $8. West of Swindon 14. Nepotism at 15. Planet Red at $19.
Right.
It'll feature in the tipping races, so listeners, do your form for the Guineas, race 8.
Yeah, it will. It will.
That's a tough race to work out.
It's always a tough race. I've seen stronger Guineas, would that be fair?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think they're always good races when they're really tough to work out, like a good betting race.
Is this still the race? You know, like it was always talked about as a, you know, I know the Golden Slipper's the one, but I just feel the market, when I say the market, the breeding racing market, it's a Group 1, and don't worry, like the Autumn Sun won this race, and he's a success story at stud. But does this race still have the same appeal as a stallion-making race as it once did?
Not the same appeal, no, I don't think so. I don't think there's one race, though. Like you've seen Yes, Yes, Yes went to a Everest.
Yeah.
So that confirmed his standing at stud.
Yeah.
You've got a Golden Rose. Golden Rose probably a little bit more than the Caulfield Guineas over the last, recent history.
Yeah. Slipper's still the one, clearly. The 2-year-old precocious colonial speed. That's what the market here loves.
Stay inside.
Yeah, exactly. Seapoy, like we all know, capital, like, yeah, that's the way it is. But yeah, I think I would think the Coolmore has more appeal now. Geez, I might be treading on some toes here. Some people might tell me to pull my head in. I think the Coolmore's got more appeal than a Caulfield Guineas for a stallion prospect these days.
Go back and look at the Coolmore winners. What's that like over recent years?
Well, I know there was
a couple of fillies win, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Well, Sunlight won. Sunlight won I'm just trying to think. So Switzerland was a winner last year, and I'll
get every chance.
He'll get every chance. Osmosis, In Secret, the filly. Mm-hmm. Home Affairs.
Yep.
So there's a big one. September Run. Exceedance, doing a job at stud. Sunlight, 2018. Merchant Navy, he's been disappointing at stud. Flying Artie, 2016. Then you go back to...
Who'd Flying Artie beat?
Flying Artie, who did he beat? I need to find that out.
Extreme Choice.
Oh, there you go. That's right, he did. Brazen Bow, Zoo Star, Star Witness, Northern Meteor. So there's been some pretty handy colts have won that race, and I reckon if you married that up with some of the recent winners of the Caulfield Guineas, you'd be leaning more to the 6 furlongs as opposed to the 8.
Yep. All right. We might take a break. We'll get the ads out of the way, and then we'll get Nick Ashman on the other side. But just as we go to the break, he was from Wanneroo. Sorry if we keep touching on it, but there's a few text messages coming through on the Retrovision text line. He's asking about the SEN acquired Tab Radio. That's due to a little bit of due diligence and should be confirmed at this stage sometimes in November. And he's asking what that means for the Sports Daily. So all that sort of stuff, we're not too sure just yet. We wish we could give you a little bit more clarity, but unfortunately at the moment we're not too sure what happens with any programming going forward. But we'll keep you updated when we do know. We'll take a quick break. Nick Ashman, Jules Vallance on the other side.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
All right, this man's been very busy this morning. We'll catch up with his good mate Jules on the other side to chat about Caulfield, but Rose Hill. We've got the Allen Brown Stakes, the Hill Stakes, the Nivison, the Gloaming. Looking forward to the Gloaming, seeing Federalists step out in distance. Nick Ashman, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. Yeah, sorry about that. We're just finishing off our Foxcatcher show, and it went overs because Julesy loves the sound of his own voice.
Now, Nick, respectfully.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm going to pop this. I'm going to pop this race. The Hill Stakes is a myth race, is it not?
Oh,
no, it's a bloody joke.
Thank you.
Look, don't be respectful. I put something out on social media. Look, I've got no issue. I don't like people bagging governing bodies, for example, Racing New South Wales, for trying something. I think we should always encourage innovation. and we should always support, same in anything in life, prime ministers, councils, everything like that. Give them the support, show them the support, but at some point you have to look at the facts and figures and go, hey, this isn't worth $2 million. These horses would all be here, or a lot of them would be here, if it was worth, $500,000-$600,000. So Lindeman's your $2.40 favourite, and he's racing for the lion's share of $2 million. It hasn't got the two big guns, were Buckaroo running this weekend and Treasure of the Moment. They're the two big guns, and they're both going to be in Melbourne. So it hasn't ticked the box, and I think most of these horses would be satisfied running for a lot less. So time to have a rethink. And also, you've got the Alan Brown Stakes, you've got the Toorak and the Epsom, three very similar races. I get that the Alan Brown's 1,400, but the other two are over a mile. They've diluted the product in each. The Epsom outside of Autumn Glow, the Epsom was a little bit skinny last week, I thought. The Toorak hasn't even got a full field this week, which is amazing for a Group 1 handicap. And then you've got the Alan Brown in there as well. It's just, unfortunately, this programming and this war between New South Wales and Victoria is diluting the product. And all it's going to result in is lower turnover because we're going to lose fans. I hope they can sort it out, guys, because it needs to get sorted quick, smart.
I think you've said that very well, Nick. Having said all of that, they still pay the same in the Hill Stakes for us punters. Is there a bet?
That's it, yeah. You've just got to put the politics aside and focus on the punt. Look, Lindeman's a deserved favourite. We are hearing rails and run will be advantageous, so I'd be looking for something to get a soft run that can weave through and perhaps blouse him late in the piece. Look, Faulkner Park, second up. He's drawn a touch off. He's going to have to get across. Second up, last preparation. He was pretty good in the round, but he was placed behind Via Sistina. Lindeman was second in that race. There wasn't much. It was about half a length between him and Lindeman. Lindeman's now $2.40. He's $16. I thought he was probably a touch overs. Elmaz, fresh horse on the scene. He's only having his second run back this campaign. He was hard in the market behind Birdman in the Kingston Town. It was a fast-run race. I don't think it suited a horse resuming. Hill Strip Fitter, he goes in my bet slip as well. They're the two horses I want to play in the Hill Stakes of 2025.
All right. Where else are we playing at Rose Hill on the weekend, Nick?
I think, look, going sort of earlier in the card, you've got the Roman Consul. Now, this is a great feeder race for the Coolmore Stud Stakes. The last two winners of the Coolmore have come through this race. So we watched this with the binoculars to look forward as to see who else might come out of it and go to bigger and better things. Now, Mahuna is very well weighted in this race. She won with 58 kilos first up in the Heritage. It was a slowly run race. She had to quicken with the big weight. Not easy to do. She was still too good for Acacia and Beedman on that occasion. She drops to 54.5. She meets Beedman considerably better at the weights from beating him last time out, so it's hard to see him turn the table. So I think you can have a saver bet on her, but the horse that interests me is number 7, Napoleonic. He's the fresh one on the scene. I've sort of been saying for a few months now that crop of now 3-year-olds, previously 2-year-olds, just haven't really set the clock on fire. They've sort of been okay without being very good. Bivark bucked the trend. He ran to a massive number in the Golden Rose. That's why he won by 4 lengths. Everyone's talking about Woderton bringing the right form line to the Caulfield Guineas, and Jules will talk about this with you guys in a few moments' time. Yes, it's the right form line, but you've also got to factor in the beaten margin there. So I think a horse like Napoleonic, fresh horse on the scene, might be able to do something. Best last 200 metres of the day in his first 2 runs back from the spell at Wyong and Warwick Farm. He's got to step up. He carried 59 last time out. He was very strong through the line. Best last 200 metres of the day, as I said. He was getting further and further away from his rivals in that race. And I think it sets up well for him. Excuse me. Johnny O'Shea loves a straight race. He's taken horses down the Newmarket before. And the Coolmore Stud Stakes has gone very close to winning previously with some horses at big prices. I think Napoleonic's around $51 in the Coolmore. I'd be having a little piece of that and having something on him on Saturday afternoon.
Right, just Coolmore, as we let you get that frog out of your throat, $51. I'll write that down. Mentioned it off the top, Gloaming, Federalist. I don't think many people, I know he's emergency 1, but I don't think many people missed the way he hit the line in the Dulcify last time.
No, and he'd be one close to your heart over there in the west because he's out of Arcadia Queen, who's one of the best to come out of WA, I think, in the last 20 years. Anyway, her and Delicacy and I think probably Northerly's just outside of 20 years ago now. So her and Delicacy are two of the best for mine in those St. Peter's colours. But he was great, and he's always sort of shown a bit of promise. You know, it's not like Team Hawks to race horses massively outside their grade. They put him in the size. They put him in the in the Champagne. He didn't quite measure up. He looked a bit of a work in progress. And you're right, he hit the line really well. He gets here on the 7-day backup. So I think he's a deserved sort of favourite or close to it, second favourite. I think he deserves to be shorter than Within the Law myself. But I think Shangri-La Boy is that fresh horse again on the scene. He's a half-brother to Storm Boy. He was good on debut. He sort of has had what I call flat sectionals at his 2 runs this campaign. Flat sectionals meaning he doesn't have a massive zip. He's more of a grinder. I think out to 1,800 metres will suit. He ran the first 600 metres nice and slow at 1,400 metres at Rosehill last time out. He's allowed to skip away from them then, and he was just way too good for him. So he's $26 in futures markets for the Spring Champion, guys. I'd be having a peanut each way on him as well. I think he's worth backing each way this Saturday at that $7 or $8 mark, whatever he is, and I'd be backing him at the $26 in futures for the Spring Champion as well. I can see Gay winning this race on Saturday, or if not, even running second and declaring he's going towards the Spring Champion and being a real chance there. All
right, so that is the 7 Shangri-La Boy in race 6, the gloaming at Group 3 level. Anything else before we let you get a glass of water, Nick?
I'm desperate for it, aren't I? Hey, I'm choking down, as they say in racing circles. Look, if you're looking for a blast out in the last, just keep an eye on the market of number 1, Amazing Eagle. He's got a class edge on these horses, but he hasn't raced since November last year. So long time off. Stable can get them ready first up. I think he's around that sort of 420, 440 mark. If he sort of firms into 350, 360, I'd be backing him in the last race. I think that's a good pointer for an entire.
All right, race 10, number 1, Amazing Eagle. All right, Nick, make sure it's a cold glass.
Oh, I will do. I'll be sticking to water for after last weekend, the Foxcatcher party. Don't worry about that.
Talk to you next week. Thanks, mate.
See you guys. Cheers.
There's Nick Ashman. So a bit to work through there. So Faulkner Park over $16. Race 8, number 3, Faulkner Park. Napoleonic. Race 4, number 7 at $8.50. $51 for a Coolmore just at this stage.
Son of Wooten Bassett. And he's a colt.
Race 6, number 7, Shangri-La Boy at $6.50 for a Spring Champion, currently at $26 in the futures.
Yes.
And then race 10, number 1, Amazing Eagle, with a little bit of a caveat there that we probably need to see a little bit of market support just to suggest that he's really ready to go as he's come back off a long spell, but has a class edge on that field. All right, now we get to dissect the Caulfield Guineas, which might take a fair while, and hopefully he's recovered from his trip to the Osborne Saturday. Jules, good morning to you.
Yeah, just got out of emergency last night, so ready to rock and roll, got through it. But it's important to celebrate those kinds of days, so we definitely do it with plenty of gusto. That way.
Good to hear, good to hear. Hopefully there's going to be plenty of gusto at Caulfield on Saturday. This is always a big day, isn't it, Jules? The Caulfield Guineas Day remains an important race on the Australian racing calendar, and it's supported by some excellent races as well.
Yeah, really quality throughout the day, to be honest. So plenty of value I think you can find too throughout the 10-race card. The Guineas, probably in history people will say it's not going to be the strongest, but still got to be able to front up. And I think, a couple of horses coming out of a pretty strong Golden Rose, which head the market. And then let's just see if the others can, those Melbourne horses can step up to the plate.
So is that the right form, the Golden Rose form?
It's the right form, no doubt. But they did get beaten 4 lengths and 8 lengths, Autumn Boy, and obviously Woderton are the two I talk of. Woderton beaten 4, Autumn Boy 8. It's a long way. Bavark's gone through the roof in that race. It's just also where they sort of map, like Autumn Boy, best case scenario, 3-back rail, possibly 4-back rail. That's just torturous if that was to occur for it. Woderton, James McDonald's probably going to have to make a decision from 10. Probably has to give him a squeeze early, I think, to try and settle in the first 6, the way I think this Caulfield track will play on Saturday. So if he ends up being a little bit neutral from the gate and ends up, worse than midfield, I think he's in a world of hurt as well. So it's the right form line, but doesn't guarantee a success, I think, for a race like Saturday.
Okay, so where is the winner?
I'm playing Navy Pilot.
Okay.
It was sort of double figures yesterday, and that's been sort of swiped off the boards now, but I still have marked him a bit shorter than what the current quote is. He just brings this left field form line that I like. I've sort of got that last race rating really well, but just continually progresses. So he went 1,200 to 1,400, now goes to 1,600 metres. And I just think it sets up perfectly for this environment. So I think it's settled in the first 5 or 6. Jamie Mellon from that gate. And I reckon he's going to be mighty hard to beat. I'm backing him each way hard, Navy Pilot.
All right, $7 and $2.50 currently. Did that last start effort, that rated okay?
It did, yeah. So I've got to go sort of 1.5 seconds inside standard time, and I thought their last section was pretty good as well. But it also just threw the line. It was a horse that really pinned its ears back and wanted to get through the line at the 1,400 metres. So stepping up to 1,600 metres, no issue at all. It has had one go at 1,600 metres back when it was a 2-year-old, and it just had no luck in the JJ Atkins. For anyone who actually wants to watch that race, go back and watch it. It was back on the inside, like way out the back, just given none. And then when it did find some clear air, it really, attacked hard, but sort of was never going to be able to win the race. So I think this is a pretty good platform how they've sort of set this horse up, just to be sort of just off Broadway. I reckon he can run a massive race this week.
Okay, where are you else interested in playing on this big day?
Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Floor is yours.
To be honest, look, Navy Pilot's probably my best each way. I think there's a horse in the last called Fancify. I think he can control the speed. Damien Lane goes in the saddle. This horse from Adelaide last start, ran second to a horse called Watch Me Win. But I think now getting to this 1,200 metres, I think it's going to be really hard to beat Fancify. We just want this track to continue to dry out, which I think it will by Saturday. I want to be with Fancify in the last. In race 2, there's a horse at double figures here. I think it's going to run a really good race if they roll forward. That's what we want. It's called Barari. Had no luck at Moonee Valley last start. Before that, got beaten by Point Barrow, but that was at 1,000 metres. I know it's just a Mildura maiden win, but I had that going through the absolute stratosphere. So if they roll forward from this gate, Blake Shin, gate 13, I think they can follow Vain Girl across. Barari at double figures, I reckon will run a massive, massive race for us in race 2.
All right, they're just the 3. Do we stop there?
Oh, no, we can keep going. I mean, in race 1, I reckon there's a horse called Mr. Verse. I reckon it's the one we want to back. Probably went to 2,000 metres last start, and it probably just didn't get it, but its 600 to 200 metre split was outstanding. Back to 1,600 metres again, Blake Shin. I want this horse to be ridden a little bit more positive than what it usually does. I think we can back it there. In race 3, there's a horse called Plymouth, won the Benalla Cup last start at 2,100, goes to 2,400. Yes, it's got to go to that further, probably endurance zone, but I think it can. I think it has the right basis to be able to do that out of a fast run race. And I'll just stop there, guys, because otherwise you've got me on a roll now and I might not ever stop.
No, fair enough. Just quickly, Jules, where does Treasure the Moment fit in your eyes in the spring picture?
It's all going to be revealed on Saturday. So if she can come out and win this race convincingly, then I think she probably deserves to be just about Cox Plate favourite, to be honest. But we've got to see it. We've got to see that she got through that colic run. She's got the best number in the spring from a Group 1 race with her first up run in the Memsie. It was outstanding. But then she had the colic issue. She was 27 days behind Pride of Jenny, and she was only fair in a race that only rated fair. So Saturday is the defining moment. She's going to have to chase Globe, who I think will probably get out and make her chase. If she can run through the line and be strong, then she is right in the picture for a Cox Plate and sets up to be an outstanding Cox Plate, guys, because there's 4 or 5 genuine older horses that all could win it.
Yeah, can't wait. Did you catch half yours on Saturday?
Well, yeah. Well, let's just keep him along. Let's just keep him ticking along. Let's just keep him eating the right feed. Just do the right thing. Put him in cotton wool and just get to the race next week. Let's draw an okay gate, say 6 to 12, and then just let them do their thing. But it was a beautiful run through the line, wasn't it? They just rode him sort of a little bit neutral from the gate. And, the last 200 was outstanding if you were on from a Caulfield Cup perspective, that's for sure, boys.
I saw him being wading in the beach at Altona there. I think it was on Sunday morning with a couple of stablemates. You didn't drive the truck, did you?
No, I kept an eye on him. Don't worry about that. I just made sure that ocean was clear of any stingrays and sort of things that could do anything wrong. So any, don't know what the needle strike rate there down is in Altona, but just making sure everything is right. Everything is right and clear for that horse to get there in one piece in Saturday week.
What about at the Osborne watching the Metrop with Soul of Spain late in the afternoon?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I was sort of going to put an extra 5K over the bar. And to be honest, there was one other guy cheering the winner, Royal Supremacy. I was like, who's this clown? It was actually Ashman. So it's good to have people in your camp really sort of support. I was like, mate, did you realise that? And he goes, oh, yeah, I didn't realise that. I was like, okay, you can leave now, mate. But thank you for your time.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, on the Thursday in his segment, he did tip us the winner as well. So I don't know if
no, that's good. And to be honest, it doesn't. To be honest, I don't even know why you mentioned it. It actually makes me feel worse. Absolutely disgusted. But yeah, it did. Look, it just got off our back, and it was really strong. And it came out of the same Newcastle Cup as well, so it was probably the right form line. Anyway, operation success, but the patient still died, as they say.
Yeah, all right. Hopefully we can turn that around with Navy pilot in the Guineas. Good luck, Jules. Speak next week.
Thanks, team.
There we go. There's Jules Vallance up and about the boys. Springtime, you can tell.
Yes, there'd be a bit of banter between he and Nick, wouldn't there?
Oh, just a day at the pub. Maybe we need to do that over the next...
Oh, we might have plenty of time.
Yeah, true.
You never know.
We'll find somewhere to go. All right, news, and then on the other side, catching up with Adam Blencowe, of course. Brad Hardy, if you missed the news a little bit earlier on, he was a late scratching. He's a little bit crook, so hopefully back on the Sports Daily on Monday.
This is a famous victory, a magnificent performance.
On This Day in Sport is brought to you by Loans 123.
What a legend. What a champion.
Who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
All right, on this day in 2022, busy day, Brock Purdy makes his regular season debut for the NFL, obviously for the 49ers. Yep. And also on the same day, Max Verstappen secures his second consecutive World F1 Drivers' Championship.
Okay.
After finishing ahead of Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc at the Japanese GP.
Okay.
On this day in 2011, Sebastian Vettel clinches his second consecutive World Drivers' Championship.
Okay.
What do they make a year?
Who?
The drivers.
F1 drivers? Oh, it's north of 15 and 20, isn't it? I'm not talking 1,000. No, and to be fair, so they should. Like isn't that... I don't think there's a sport dripping in more money than F1. Maybe soccer. But some of these... And just, when you see all the... the pit lane and the celebrities.
They come out to Melbourne at the start of the year.
The wow factor's enormous with them, isn't it?
How's the money on some of those planes?
Yeah, and then you see the boats in, was it Monaco, when they're in that circuit there. Yeah, it's just lathered in funds, the F1 world.
Well, speaking of Liam Peters, who went to Singapore, just about the whole experience yesterday off air. It's just ridiculous.
He said it was enormous, yeah. He said Elton John was there performing.
Said he got carried to the piano.
Old Elton.
Oh, come on, Elton.
Come on, you old bugger.
It's your time, Elton.
Oh,
what? Annika Storenstam, 55th birthday today.
Okay.
She played in a couple of men's events.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. She pulled the pin not so much at the peak of her powers, but she was still playing some really good golf, and she basically just faded into the sunset, didn't she?
But very good player.
Outstanding player. Jeweled with Kari Webb.
Golf.
Yeah, jeweled with Kari Webb for many a tournament, didn't she?
That's on This Day in Sport.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
We will continue to chat a little bit of racing with Adam Blencowe from Racing and Sports shortly. Brad Hardy, unfortunately, a late scratching, come down with a little bit of an illness this morning, so he's out. Lisa from Allenbrook's got in touch on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571. Morning, guys and team. I think Craig McRae keeps digging himself a bigger hole, saying the club voting system needs to be looked at. Wonder how Darcy Cameron felt hearing that. And then goes on. Heard Brendan Starcevich say that the knock to his head in the grand final wasn't that bad. I'm happy with the deal Eagles get, a two-time premiership defender plus picks 1, 2 and 12.
Yep, agree with everything that Lisa has said there. I think she summed it up brilliantly on both fronts.
We spoke about Collingwood a little bit earlier, and you weren't a fan of what's going on there.
No, it just needs, silly as it sounds, we want coaches to speak and be a little bit honest, but I think it's time Craig McRae just shuts his mouth. Shut up. And as Lisa said, he's digging himself a bigger hole. Just shut up.
He talks like he's Nick Dacos's father as opposed to his coach sometimes, I feel.
Yeah, zip it. Admit and or acknowledge privately that you've stuffed up by the comments that you said with Nick Dacos in your Copeland Trophy presentation. Just shut up. Go away, be quiet, and come back in the pre-season.
Jeez, Bluey's giving Buckaroo a clip. I think Buckaroo is a non-winner. Just promises, never delivers. Be on me next time run. Won't get my money.
So he's with Treasure at the moment then on Saturday?
Like yeah.
Odds on. She's been a little bit soft in the market. I think 160, 165 out to 175, 180, that quote now. But, gee whiz, she's good. She's really good.
Yeah, well, it'd be
and
fantastic.
I think Damien's 7 for 7 on her as well.
Yeah, okay. It'd be fantastic for racing if she goes there and blows them away, because then we're going into a Cox Plate with Via Sistina, where she had Treasure at the moment off a good win.
Yeah.
Sir Delia's flying. Antino not going poorly.
Correct.
Is there an international chance in the Cox Plate? There would be somewhere.
There'd be somewhere, but I'll tell you what, they'd have to be pretty good. They'd have to be pretty good if you'd upstage some of those locals who are in good nick.
Yeah, Gary's wanting to know the track conditions at York.
Got to be good, Gary.
Yeah, wondering why the track conditions aren't up just yet. So normally they'd get updated just after 8 o'clock, wouldn't they?
It'll be a 4, Gary, and perhaps
back those close to the speed.
Oh, yeah, very much. I was going to say it could even get around the 3 range, often does, York. So it will be 4 at worst, could even be upgraded to a 3, I would think.
Down the hill?
Yep.
Get some speed up?
Yeah, exactly right.
When I ran my fastest.
Yeah. No.
Certainly not uphill.
Tell me you were very quick.
Oh, lightning, yeah. Huge.
Running away from a lot of bigger men in football.
Yeah, contested possessions.
Not you.
No, it wasn't my go.
You love the wing.
Hated it. Never got injured, funnily enough.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's weird how that happened.
Smart.
This text, can't find a name, but the Coolmore is the stallion making race now.
Yeah,
so it's with you.
Yep. Yeah, look, we can maybe ask our next guest what he thinks about it.
You can ask him the question right now.
Oh, can I? Can I introduce him?
Yep.
Mr. Richmond, good morning.
Oh, Mr. Richmond.
Mr. Richmond, I'll take that.
How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Are you well?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very well. We were just talking earlier, the Caulfield Guineas this weekend. It's not the strongest edition we've seen, and we were discussing where it sat in the breeding ranks in this country now with our desire for, fast, precocious horses. Where do you think it sits, Adam?
Cheap speed?
Is
that what we're... I think it's still there, and probably... So the Coolmore, I think you just mentioned it there, the Coolmore is a race that obviously the breeders are pretty warm on and they fancy. But I think if you go through it, the Caulfield Guineas is still holding its own in terms of producing stallions of any worth. And the Coolmore is probably, it's probably got a little bit of work to do. It's got a lot of big names, but I don't think any Coolmore winners just yet have sort of conquered the breeding world. And of recent winners, probably the best... I'm just spinning through my mind here, and perhaps I'm forgetting someone, but the Autumn Sun's probably the best stallion to come out of either race in the last half a dozen or 10 years, and he was in the Guineas rather than the Coolmore. Yeah, Zoostar's there. You could probably say, if we were playing top trumps, you'd probably come in and Zoostar my Autumn Sun, and we'd break square.
Yeah, I think so. Look, notwithstanding, it's a good race, and we spoke about it probably because we're talking about Woden and whether he can break through at Group 1 level on Saturday. There's been some market support for him. How do you assess his prospects off the back of what he did in a ridiculously fast run Golden Rose?
Yeah, that's right. He was chasing a hot speed there, and I think obviously they're desperate. Speaking of stallion making, they're desperate to make a stallion out of him, and to do that, they think that they need to win a Group 1 in the book, and they're probably right, and so they're desperate to do that. So they'd be frustrated that he wasn't able to land the prize last time, but he still ran so well. And as you say, the speed figure out of that race was really, really hot. So, yeah, I think he's the right favourite. I did think it was interesting. I was reading an article on Racing and Sports, your source for all good racing news, guys.
Yes,
and
of course.
I did see our very own Brad Bishop making the point that he would be the first favourite in, I think it was 25 years, to be favourite for the Caulfield Guineas, having not won as a 3-year-old. I think we went back all the way to Show a Heart to find a horse that had not won as a 3-year-old and jumped favourite in a Caulfield Guineas. So that might say something about the race itself and probably the point that you were making off the top about this year's Caulfield Guineas. But he can carry that label and still be, I think, the right favourite.
Is that a good recipe? A fast run 1,400 metres, getting up to the 1,600 metres of a Caulfield Guineas a fortnight later?
That is a really good question because it's a tough one to answer, and it's obviously one that punters are going to spend the next couple of nights. Well, people like me, we just stare out into space, toss and turn in our sleep. This is going to haunt us for the next couple of days.
You're
but
not
ultimately, yeah, thanks. Ultimately, it's. I think you want horses. If you want to get horses running fast and winning fast Group 1s, running through fast Group 1s is the right recipe and the right way to do it. But you're right, there is that change of scenario can go the other way, and there can be, to get a mile off such a hot tempo last time, it can ask a different question of him. So there is that. He's in pretty good hands, though, I suppose, with Waller J-Mac being a reasonable combination. I know you would have heard of Waller J-Mac over there in the West.
Yeah, we have. Just only last week, they just come in the run. It's been a little bit slow burning over here.
Well, I know it's all Michael Grantham territory over there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Your favourite horse is back at the races on
get there,
Saturday, opportunistic. Can I just ask you where you have Treasure the Moment in your thoughts this spring, because she's odds on at the moment for Saturday, third up, and we know that she chased home Pride of Jenny last start.
Yeah, I think I think the whole thing is going very well for her, given the setback that she had. Obviously, she was brilliant first up, and it was such a shame that, for Matt Laurie and for her and for fans of her, that she had that little setback that cost her basically the campaign that she was on. It probably saved the Might and Power. Thank goodness she had that setback for the sake of the Might and Power. So she turns up here, but it might actually end up being ideal for her Cox Plate preparation. She gets to chase Pride of Jenny around there, and then she gets a nice little tapering run, if you like, here, because it's hard to imagine. Globe will pull them along a little bit, but it does look a nice jog around for her on Saturday, and potentially a nice soft platform into the Cox Plate, where I can't really see a scenario where she sort of brings herself undone, unless obviously something goes terribly wrong and she just has a bad day and the Cox Plate dream is over. But I think this is probably a lovely platform. She deserves to be odds on. I know Buckaroo is a very good horse, but her Memsey win is a bit better than anything he's produced to date, and certainly the way that this race is likely to be run, I think it probably sets up for her to use her speed, which should be too much of a shot in the locker, I think, for Buckaroo on Saturday, and I hope it is, because she's an important element to the Cox Plate, I think.
So touch wood, everything goes okay with her there on Saturday. The top three rankings, Adam Blencowe's top three power rankings for a Cox Plate at this stage.
Ooh.
What are they?
No pressure.
Part of the reason I think Treasure the Moment running well and having a perfect setup on Saturday is important is because the Cox Plate power rankings right now are probably a little bit straightforward, aren't they? I'd say maybe, you decide which way you want to go, Via Sistina or Delius. Do you want to go all in on the Turnbull form, or do you want to go all in on the idea that Via Sistina is a grand final horse with a grand final stable going to a grand final where she's produced an absolute worldie 12 months ago. She isn't going as well on the numbers, and she wouldn't be going as well. You wouldn't need a set of numbers to know that. You'd only need a couple of eyeballs to figure out that she's not quite going as well as she did last spring, or indeed in the autumn as well before her Queen Elizabeth. But she has spiked and run big numbers that would beat Delius in both of those grand finals. So I'll side with her peaks and the smart stable and have Via Sistina hold on to her number one ranking going into the Cox Plate with Delius chasing, and we'll put Treasure the Moment in third. Hopeful.
Delius, does he run 3,200, do you think? Will he run 3,200 strongly?
Yeah. Well, he'll run it. He'll get there. I think he'll run it really quickly as well. He's, if anything, I've been a little bit chilly on him in the last two starts, not because I don't think he's an outstanding racehorse, but because I think 1,800 and 2,000 are the absolute base for him, and I'm just desperate for him to get to a mile and a half. I had the pom-poms out waving them, and we must get this horse to the Caulfield Cup. Alas, he won't be there. He would absolutely donkey lick them in the Caulfield Cup, and I think he'll stay 2 miles well. I think he's the most convincing Melbourne Cup favourite I can remember, and I'm obviously forgetting some, and there's obviously been rock solid favourites, but he is just a perfect Melbourne Cup favourite, and a damn good one.
How do you compare El Riffa? Where does he fit in?
Yeah, so he's about as talented, but not more talented, and then obviously hanging up there at the top of the weights as well. Yeah. So, yeah, even in Europe, their form, El Riffa's had a few more opportunities this year, and he's potentially, and I would say, been a little bit better for having been stepped out over a bit further, but not a lot better. And if you look at Al Riffa's German Group 1, and then you look at what Sir Delius had done as a 3-year-old in France, there are easy comparisons to make there, and the form isn't far apart. And then Delius has obviously settled into life down here brilliantly. So I think Delius is going about as well, if not better, than Al Riffa, and I've still got it in my mind that Sir Delius is a coiled spring looking for further.
Right.
So I think Sir Delius, as I said, I think he's a tremendous Melbourne Cup favourite. He'd be an absolute stone-cold certainty in the Caulfield Cup if he were there.
All right. Now, question without notice, Chevalier Rose. What do you know about this Japanese stayer? Because Damien Lane has been booked to ride Chevalier Rose in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, so she is, and Golden Snap's the other one who's down here at the moment. They are, both of them. Chevalier Rose is probably fractionally trendier profile, but at the same time, and Warp Speed ran really well last year, obviously, in the Melbourne Cup, but they are much more Warp Speed or break up, the ones we've seen in recent years, than they are the slightly better models that we saw maybe, I'm getting old. I was about to say a couple of years ago. It's probably a decade ago now since we saw Fame Game, and then how long ago was Pop Rock and Delta Blues? That wasn't just the other day anymore, was it?
No, it was not. No,
that was not. So, yeah, things have changed a little bit in terms of what they're sending down here, and the top brass are being pitched off to Paris and trying to win the Arc in the mud, and it's not working. So they should probably think about sending some of those better ones down here for the Cups. But logistics, I believe, are probably in the way of a little bit of that. So I think, what price are we talking Chevalier Rose at the moment with our good friends at Tab Touch?
Yeah, in the 30s, around $34.
Yeah, okay. I think the boffins at Tab Touch have done pretty well there. I reckon that's about where she sits.
Okay.
All right. Have we spoken to you since Cosmic Crusader returned to the races?
Probably not. He's
Have you still got opportunistic
I think we spoke
in front?
about opportunistic.
Yeah, we did.
Sadly, I don't. I think I was on here talking opportunistic and telling you what an absolute certainty you had in the railway, and then you got an even bigger certainty.
Yeah, well, I think as we said yesterday with Liam Peters, it was a case of Cosmic Crusader came along to opportunistic and said, hold my beer.
Yeah. I was actually, Simon Dinopoulos here was tweeting out ratings of past champions for Uncle Bob in the Cerise there, and I was looking at that list, and his Cosmic Crusader's already marching his way up there. But I did have a little look through, and I noticed that of all those top horses, Arcadia Queen and Old Comrade and Western Empire and Regal Power are all up there, and Cosmic Crusader's winning 78 rated handicaps and still getting up amongst them somewhere.
Yeah.
So he has gone that well. But I did look at that set and realised that opportunistic, well named, he hasn't had the opportunities just yet. And after 3 starts, he leaves them all for dead. So maybe the best horse that Bob's had after 3 starts. The problem is we need to back him in starts 4, 5, 6 and 7 rather than on what he's done to date. But if you do look at all those great horses, you do notice that they improve, and this would be true for most horses, of course, but they do tend to improve a hell of a lot after, more than 3 starts, half a dozen starts. They can be slow burners. They give us little clues as to their talent early, but they can be slow burners, a few from that base. So if he followed suit and he followed the trajectory that a few of those old champions have been on opportunistic, he'd be he'll be the best that Bob's ever had if he can follow that on average. Of course, he's got his work cut out to do that, I think.
Yeah, we get to see him on Saturday. He resumes on Saturday, and a pretty competitive 78 plus 1400 fresh off the back of a decent trial. It was a good trial without being a slashing trial, but he did some wonderful things as a 3-year-old in those 3 starts. A maiden win, a listed Rack and 2, and then a listed Belmont Guineas.
I know, Adam, he's had a trial recently, but it hasn't been the most talked about trial in the country of late. There was one on Monday.
Not quite. Although there were people here talking about the opportunistic trial. We're right across the board here. We're not just focused on Car-Ying Rising. We've all got Pinnacles Fever. Don't worry about that.
Pinnacles Fever.
What did you make of Car-Ying Rising's trial?
I'm not one to. I'm not a trial perv. I enjoy that everyone else is, and I can get around that. But myself, I'm not sure. Did Zach wave his arms a few too many times for people's liking? I suppose. Would you have liked to see him smash up Overpass? And you guys know how good Overpass is. Overpass would be a good trialer as well, and linebacker's probably a bit of a surprise packet in there, looking $1 million linebacker, but he's a good horse. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to read too much into it because we can over-focus on a trial here, but I've got a lot of other information and a lot of other evidence in the form book that tells me this is a very, very fast racehorse, Carrying Rising. In fact, he's in the top 5 sprinters anywhere in the world this century. So he's the real deal. Obviously, the big question mark is, does he settle in? And that's the question that the trial is trying to answer. But I'll probably just play naive and back in the stable and back in the fast horse. Not that he is betting odds, mind you.
No, he's very, very short.
But the price is right, you think? It sounded by what you're saying, the price is right.
Yeah, I was mucking around with it. I think, I'll get really specific for you. I think he should be $1.62. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Well, with the world pool, you probably get a figure like that.
Yeah, well, the world pool is going to create some interesting betting opportunities. I did notice, looking at betting as well, by the way, that once again, another big rap for our friends at Tab Touch with their early markets. They're betting proper quarter odds each way, which leaves a few other bookmakers for dead. And it is probably for those looking for, to pitch their way into the Everest. And if you're not one to stomach $1.50 Carrying Rising, and I'm probably not, the each-way prices available there are actually quite fair. And I probably would say War Machine is the one that appeals most to me at this stage in a pretty competitive lot. And that's probably one of the interesting things about the race, is how competitive and how brilliant a race it'd be without Carrying Rising. He brings a lot, but he certainly takes a betting race off the table, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. $1.60 currently with Tab Touch, and Jolie's Star at $9 double figures. The others headed by Briasa, Jimmy's Star.
All right, anyone else?
$1.60 with Tab Touch, and I'm $1.62. Wow,
so value everywhere.
All right, we'll let the listeners. We'll pass on your number, Adam, and if they want to have a bet at $1.62, they'll give you a stick.
MrRichmond.com.au. Bet here.
Richmond Bet, tigerbet.com.au. $1.62. Best price in the world, Carrying. Come at me.
Brace yourself for some Hong Kong interest.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I'm just rolling down the shutter doors now. Sorry, we're closed.
All right, great to chat. Hopefully we'll do it again shortly.
Yep, for sure. See you guys.
There's Adam Blencowe. Outstanding as always.
He's terrific. Brings a lot of IQ, and he can make a comment and he backs it up, and he's very rarely wrong. So that's a good push, Sir Delius, isn't it? He said he would have smashed them up in a Caulfield Cup had they gone that way.
After you've explained it there, it probably doesn't fit in on the show, does he?
No.
Good IQ. Doesn't get it wrong often.
Every now and then you get a curveball, don't you?
Yeah. It's nice to mix it up once in a while.
Yes.
We'll go out to the traffic. We'll come back with the text line 0427 789 571.
Make Tab Radio your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
On the Sports Daily with Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham, a little bit of time to discuss some of your text messages on 0427 789 571. Of course, do send in a best bet today for York. You're taking on Diggers Race 3, number 4, Rain Line. His Diggers best was around that $2.20.
I can tell you that Rain Line now, Taylor Cortland, Race 3, number 4, is $2.20 still, yes. That field is finalised post-scratchings. Jumps at 3 o'clock. Rain Line. Race 3, number 4, my best.
All right. Slammer's thrown a couple of things at you, Diggers, here.
Yeah.
Pick one in the mix for Carlton, for Campbell Chesser. Carlton, also to open talks for Ben Ainsworth from Gold Coast.
Yes.
Have you done your orange form? Question mark. Orange, race 1, number 3. Single shy.
Race 1 today.
Well, I presume it's today.
Yeah, it is. 10 past 11. Race 1, Little Fella. Little Fella. Is that what he's...
No, race 1, number 3.
Oh, race 1, number 3. Oh, single shy. Apologies. You did say Bonhoeffer. Last start 5th on a heavy at Narromine. Okay.
You don't sound all that enthused. What price?
$5. I don't... Well, I'm not across the orange form. If Slammer's crowing it...
I just sent it in, so we'll get on.
We need
all the tips we can get.
Yeah, need all the money we can get. $1.85, the favourite, Dunna Runner for Danielle Saib. So, okay, well, there you go. That's over 1,400 metres. It's a country maiden. So, single shy. Right.
Would pick 41 for Campbell Chesser get it done?
West Coast will ask for more.
Warning to everyone listening on the radio.
Yeah, West Coast will ask for more, wouldn't they?
You'd think so. What pick was he, 8 or?
Yeah, he was a first rounder, but then Carlton will say, well, hold on, he hasn't played much footy, but he wants to go to Carlton. Carlton have to satisfy West Coast. I would think he's somewhere in the 30s in this draft. I fit Campbell Chesser as is better than pick 30. Or put it this way, Campbell Chesser, fit and going, is better than pick 41 in the national draft.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. We haven't seen much of him, but he's shown enough glimpses to think that if he is able to... Now, this is a massive if because he hasn't proven he can get his body right. But if he does get his body right, he might be okay.
Just received a message from someone. He said he's going to Melbourne with Chris Gangemi. I won't name him. As part of his birthday celebrations. He said, I'm $1.01 to be BOG in Melbourne.
Oh, well, that's Cox Plate weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's that, Saturday fortnight?
Yep. He said, he's self-proclaimed $1.01 favourite to be BOG alongside Chris Gangemi in Melbourne.
Ross.
Correct. Morning, Rosario.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Rick from Bindoon. Morning, guys. Placed a multi.
Ooh.
Back in July. Car Ying rising into opportunistic. $18.50.
Car Ying, obviously, to win the Everest. Opportunistic to win the railway?
Win the railway.
Right. Okay. Will he get there? If he wins Saturday, he'll get the obligatory 2.
What's the 82 rated?
83, I thought.
83.
Let me have a look here, TC, whilst I am talking to you, Race.
When we were speaking to Liam yesterday, you're sort of thinking,
Beg your pardon, he's 82. You're sorry. Are you right?
There's a little bit of a problem there because you're trying to get sort of 4 horses into the railway through the same race. Good, like Liam said, good problem to have, but it's just trying to get them all there.
So he'd win this, if he wins Saturday, and he can win, don't get me wrong, he can win. So he would go to 86 in all likelihood. If he makes a slashing return and wins by more, he might get 5 points, but he's going to be mid to high 80s.
Can I say, if you've got Cosmic Crusader, are you absolutely desperate to get opportunistic into the race, doing whatever you can?
Yes.
You are?
Oh, absolutely you are, because they're race horses, things can go wrong with them in a heartbeat. And Bob has shown over time that he's happy to, if, there's a Group 1 within reach or on the horizon, he's happy to burn some points to get to that stage. And I think now, with opportunistic being back, and you heard Liam yesterday, if we can get him there, their best hope in a northerly is opportunistic. Yeah. You would think for him to get to a northerly, he's probably going to have to run really well in a big group race.
Fair old rap that Adam gave him as well.
Yeah.
After 3 starts, better than anything Bob's ever had.
It's a big call, isn't it? What did you reckon of his trial? I know it's only a trial. And what did you think of his trial? Opportunistic behind Twain's Angel down there at Larkhill.
Out of 10, it'd be a 5.5.
5.5. Yeah. Okay, I'll give it a little bit more than that. But just looking at him, and again, he was against older horses. He looked like he still had some furnishing to do, to my eye. He just looked
not a little big frame.
No, he just looked a bit slighter and angular as opposed to some of those established horses, and some of them were sprinters as well. So they built a bit different to him, being his breeding and his profile. But it just looks like he's another, for mine, he just might be still 12, 18 months away, that's all.
And again, we'll refer back to the interview we did yesterday with Liam. He said he's a real race day horse, so he's, it's a little bit childish in some of his actions and things, and then he gets to race day and he knows it's
switches
game
on.
day.
Well, he's 3 starts, 2 of them, and he beat, and in that Belmont Guineas, she beat Storyville. Yeah. Now, she might not have been going as well in the winter as she was this time last year, but she is a WA champion Guineas winning filly. Storyville. Like, she's a high-class horse, and he beat her at his 3rd start.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
Brett from Bull Creek, here we go. I was lucky enough to be in Melbourne on the weekend and went to the Osborne to watch Apocalyptic run. Can't talk highly enough of Jules, Nick and Hutchie. They went out of their way to talk to both myself and my wife. Top blokes. It was a fun day. Can't help but think you would have had been in your element, Digby.
Well, thank you. That's a lovely message. That's good that they were made feel welcome by those boys over there.
Absolutely, Brett.
Well, that's good, Brett. Thank you for that.
Went and watched Apocalyptic, so had a nice day as well.
Yeah, didn't she just win well? Like she
has
won
the look over the shoulder.
Didn't she win like a proper horse? I dare say there would have been a few multis with her and Autumn Glow going around on the weekend just gone.
Yeah, exactly right. So it was interesting what Nick said about the programming, and you're diluting it. Therefore, do you lose a bit of turnover? Do you lose some fans? You're diluting the product. This time of the year, you want the best racing, the best. You eventually get there, but the lead-ups nowadays, like the Might and Power, where are we at with this race?
I just think $2 million for that race, the Hill Stakes. It's $2 million, isn't it?
Yep.
Am I correct? Yeah. It's overkill. Like it's you can't justify that. I'm sorry. Now, we're talking Racing New South Wales, the ATC, all of this. Racing New South Wales wanted to sell Rosehill because it seems like the business model that they've got at the moment with these big prize money races, I'm not sure it's sustainable in its current format.
Who in the Hill Stakes would fit into the Might and Power?
Who in the Hills?
Lindemann?
Yeah. Where are we at with attrition?
Unfortunately, his best is probably behind him. Won the Hill Stakes last year or the year before?
I think he did, yeah. Kovalik has had a few cracks at it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Light infantry man.
Well, hopefully he lines up in the Might and Power, or else it's a 4-horse field.
Yeah, exactly. Lindemann's the favourite, and understandably so. Yeah, he's a solid enough horse, isn't he? Actually, no, I take that back. He's a very good horse. He's won $2.5 million in prize money. He's a good horse. I shouldn't say that. But is there a genuine in-form and or worthy Group 1 animal in this race? No. Yet they're running around for $2 million. Not for me. It won't be in the tipping competition tomorrow, TC.
No, well, I think we've got that.
Good.
Well, if you haven't understood that, you haven't been listening.
Well, Melbourne racing at this time of the year is very, very good, particularly on a day like this one that we're going to experience on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Sydney. We gave Sydney the rap last week.
Saturday week's going to be very good.
Outstanding it's going to be. And last Saturday is, for mine, the best day in Sydney racing. I love it.
What about racing-wise, sitting back on the couch or being at the races is next Saturday the day? That's your number one day. Does that beat Melbourne Cup Day? Everest, Caulfield Cup. We've got some good races over here.
That's a good question. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? It is
Everest, you got the consolation with you'll end up with some okay sprinters there.
Yeah, Sydney Stakes.
Yep.
It's
the King Charles next Saturday as well.
Yes, Mr. Brightside goes there.
Mr. Brightside.
I was up there riding.
Your mate Charles will probably run around.
Charles. How's he going?
Oh.
No, I asked how is it. Don't you? Oh,
don't laugh like that.
No, how's he going?
Don't have a crack at Charles like that.
Meow. Get the saucer out. For a good horse, fair dinkum, step up to the plate.
No,
Get it done. There's a lot of chatter about this horse, isn't there?
Well, I think the trainer brings that on himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves to
a tweet.
Yeah,
an X, or what do you call him these days?
Oh, he's a Twitterer, an Xer.
He's an Xer.
Whatever he is. But yeah, he does have a bit to say. But no, he's a good horse, don't get me wrong, Charles, but it's now, it's time for him to actually step up, man up, and win a big race.
Again.
Exactly. Did it in the autumn? Spring last year.
I think he won the King Charles last year, didn't he?
King Charles, yeah. What's he run? He's had 3 or 4 runs this time in? I'm just going to his...
well, you've been hanging off him every run. So
I haven't.
Yes, you have. You just meowed at him.
I did not. That wasn't me.
Greg L. Sexton didn't think anyone would ever be able to afford you boys, so fingers crossed nothing changes with the buying, I suppose. I'm not sure if I can use the word he used. You lot are my normal start of the day. Ain't that saying something?
Yeah. Well,
shame on you, Greg.
Well, yes. Chow Wolf, this time in. 4th in the Winks, 4th in the Chelmsford, 3rd in the 7 Stakes, 6th in the Epsom.
That's a good campaign.
It is. He's won plenty of money along the way. Epsom, he had to carry, what did he carry? 58 in the Epsom. His best run this time in. One thing that with this horse, and I'm not sure how it goes, he has won 5 races in his career. 3 of them have been on good, but I think he gives the impression for mine that he needs wet ground. He's far more effective for mine when he can get his toe in. That's all. Like a lot of those horses in Sydney, to be fair.
Yeah, well, more often than not, they get the tracks to suit.
Yes, they do.
Neil on the Retrovision text line. Now, he's come up with a plan for the Bombers. Neil?
Yeah.
I don't think you have long enough, Neil. Get rid of the disenfranchised players. Or the decent
Might not have a
players.
side.
Extend Scott's contract.
Brad Scott. Well, that would send a message.
Re-sign Mackay, Parrish, and he's written McGrath, I'd imagine, on extended big money contracts. This way we will be assessed of first round picks for the foreseeable future. We will be assessed off first round picks for the foreseeable future.
Is he saying that message with tongue-in-cheek? It seems like there's a bit of tongue-in-cheek with that. Re-sign Brad Scott, extend Mackay. He'd be the only person to think, in all due respect, to Ben Mackay. There's not a lot of people saying it's been a resounding success, his acquisition. Is that fair? Stop going,
Andy McGrath.
And he's a number one draft pick. So I think he's taking the P1 double S. I think it seems that way.
Oh, I hope so. Andy McGrath.
Okay, well, what are you saying about Andy? You were saying that with a funny look on your face, and now you're chortling. What's wrong with Andy McGrath, Taylor?
He's a
Go on.
solid contributor.
As a number one draft pick?
Yeah, solid.
Wow, not a fan of the day. So you're basically saying Andy McGrath's a spud?
I'm saying the people doing the recruiting at Essendon
here we go.
aren't very good at their jobs. Haven't been.
Whoa. So you have a crack at Adrian Dodoro over a long period of time? Oh, gee, all the Essendon...
Is it James Sardis?
Ben Hobbs? Elijah Sardis. Ben Hobbs. Oh, Ben Hobbs. Haven't they missed with some of their top-end talent picks?
I know North Melbourne need a key defender, but gee whiz, Mackay wasn't the answer.
No. But I'm not sure who we've got since then have been the answer either.
No, but what's he on, 900?
Ben Mackay? Yeah, I think so. Big money.
Good morning, Marty.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, they're in a real pickle, aren't they? Merritt, stay or go? You're saying stay, aren't you?
I'm thinking stay now, but I was 3 weeks ago it was a definite go, so...
Curnow?
Stay. I just can't see how a deal gets done elsewhere.
Bailey Humphrey?
Stay for the moment.
Okay. Yep.
Stay for the moment. What would you put in a couple of years? You're ready to explode if you're the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah, I would have
You're ready to
unless
go.
he's got his nose out of joint with the acquisition.
Christian Petrarca.
Maybe he's thinking that's my sort of role.
That's perfect. 50-50. They play exactly the same position. Swap.
Yeah, don't know. I think he's a bit of a sensitive soul by all reports, Bailey. Like he's very much the new age young.
I can understand that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see.
I'll play some ads. We'll come back with Brad McManus.
Maytag Radio, your station of choice. Each weekday morning from 5:30 with the Sports Daily.
Taylor Cortland and Digby Beecham with you in the run home to 9 o'clock here on the Sports Daily race day after that. And, of course, Great Grays from 10 till 11 with David Short this morning. Catching up with Brad McManus with the Tab Touch update for the markets. Taking a look at the Max Simmons there on Saturday is the feature at $2.40. Is Twisted still the favourite, $4.40. Talk & Co. $7 about Yes Queen and Schnitzer Latte. Double figures. The remainder headed by Luana Miss at $11. Bradley McManus, good morning to you.
Taylor Cortland, Digby Beecham, good morning to you fine gentlemen as well.
Good morning, Brad. Great to chat. There's been a little bit of activity since you released the Max Simmons market yesterday.
Lots of activity. I think punters are just up and about. It's opening day.
Yep.
Pep in the step. Weather's improving. Back to Royal Ascot. And punters have decided that this is the best bet of the century, Twisted Steel. 360 into 240. Biggest stand of the day. Money keeps on coming. Probably starts even money the way it's looking at the moment. Just been a huge go Twisted Steel. And overnight, there have been a few market corrections with some horses out wide like Rostislav. Delta's Sun's been snipped away at. The text messages have gone out for Storm away.
Okay.
And some good money starting to come for Talk & Co. And reckon the pro money might start to come for Talk & Co. pretty soon as well because they always get behind this horse and it tried like a rock star.
Yep, absolutely. It did. We spoke about that a little bit earlier on. 1,000 metres is probably just a small question mark. Exciting race for Max Simmons, though, and also exciting race the first, the 2-year-olds. How'd you work through this, Brad?
Yeah, nice yeah, it looked really intriguing when the noms came out. A few pretty key scratchings, that's for sure. But kind of sitting on their hands a bit early because Firearm looks the one, but sticky draw for a 2-year-old 1,000 metres. Who knows what's going to transpire there, but hasn't stopped the punters getting involved in a couple in the race, namely Sovereign Rock, who's been, well, smacked is the best way to put it in betting. It's in the 420. It's been a massive go, Sovereign Rock, so obviously with a smoke with fire there, and a bit of local pro money, Texan Dream as well.
All right, so that is the 2-year-old, the initial 2-year-old race of the season. Now, Brad, we got to see Lynchpin on debut. He created an impression. He's now the $3.70 favourite at his second lifetime start, this being a no Metro Win Mile event.
Straight to a Saturday, 460 into 370, and another one of the better goes of the day, Lynchpin. So punters pretty keen to get involved there in an even affair. There's also been good money up the top for Becca Lottie. Aside from that, not a lot to speak of.
All right, 2,200 metres, 61 plus. It's ended up $4.40. Antique Star at the top of the market. Where has the money been going?
A little bit of money there, TC, for Antique Star, but Lyrical Angels getting the bulk of the support at this stage into 550. Some local sharpies pretty keen. Always well supported locally as well. Lyrical Angel, it's got some good loyal owners and been a great horse for them, and they reckon it's going to put one on the board Saturday.
All right, so good little push there. Now, Brad, how did you assess this Westbead Platinum 1,100 metre event, given we're looking at a first starter, E2, now E1, with the scratching of a lot of dazzle, and as we sit here, is the $5 favourite, yet hasn't gained a start?
Yeah, we've been discussing this one in the office, so we're just assuming there's going to be a scratching and Damien Lane's going to come over and ride it.
I love the way you think, but I don't think that's happening.
It ain't happening, but it's, put a couple of very nice trials together, this horse. So straight into a Saturday is a fair sign of intent as well. Otherwise, this is an even affair. Probably a bit of a dartboard job, and punters seeing it the same way because there's been support for 7 horses.
Okay, all right.
Sharp support for 7 horses. So, yeah, good even betting affair.
Has there been good support for KTY over the 1,000 in the 72 plus?
Yeah, well punted early, TC. There has been. All over it. $3 into $2.50. Strong support. A couple of pros keen at KTY.
All right. Now, race 6 is a graduation 1,400 metre event. Great Emotion third up Saturday. $4.20 in the Tab Touch favourite at the moment.
And getting its share of support again. Great Emotion. A little bit of money, Sweet Tea as well. A little bit of each way money, Calora. Even betting affair, though, at this stage. Is that right?
All right. How about the graduation 1,800 metres, race number 7 on the program? It's $5.50 the field. Old mate Henry, Max Verstappen, head the market.
Yeah, the Maxophone, they're keen, $8.50 into $5.50. A couple of pros pretty keen up the top there. Max Verstappen. It's been the one that's been supported. A little bit of money, Romeo as well, and old mate Henry, but yeah, Maxie up the top. Another one of the better goes of the day.
All right, now Opportunistic resumes off the back of a decent trial. He's 3 for 3. He's pretty good. He is $3.40 with Tab Touch. Have they come for this fellow yet?
Intriguing affair, and they have. $5 into $3.40. They're pretty keen.
That's it?
Summary being, they're pretty keen.
Okay, so Opportunistic well supported there in the penultimate.
Gee whiz, I tell you what, it's a cracking way to finish the day. Race number 10, 1,200 metres, 66 plus. Mardusa, $5. Exceed the Planet, $5.50. Planet Sweet, $5.50. Dealer in, $7.50. Elite One, $8.50. 16 Chills, $9. What's happening?
The darts needed sharpening by this stage of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Punters concur. 6 different horses have been backed reasonably heavily too. So good money Exceed the Planet, good money Dealer in, good money Elite One, sharp money Son of the Boss, sharp money Playing It Sweet.
Okay.
And the money hasn't come yet for Mardusa, but I'm expecting it to after that trial.
Yeah, good trial. Nice horse. Looking forward to seeing Mardusa back at the races. But as you touched on earlier this chat, Brad, Twisted Steel, the best back runner there on Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anything else to let us know about?
Leonora Cup Saturday. When do those markets come up, Brad?
The Cup might go up this afternoon.
Okay.
The rest of the meeting probably more likely tomorrow morning. But In regards to other big punting goes Saturday, Sovereign Rock in the first. Someone stepped in there. Linchpin in the second. That's definitely a highlighted job. KTY in the fifth. Mm-hmm. And Maxi Match Stappen in the seventh. Another one that's been well supported.
All right, beautiful 6-race program there at Leonora. Boab Boy heads the weights with Who's Your Mama in the Leonora Cup. Thanks, Brad.
Pleasure.
There's Brad McManus.
Brad McManus, Twisted Steel, well supported. Could start $2, he thinks.
Yeah. You forecast that a little bit?
Yeah, well, yes and no.
I'll just take the yes.
No, okay, yes. It was all over.
Well predicted.
No, not really. But, yeah, interesting race. Really interesting race, that one. It's good. And we always talk about it each year, don't we? Our crops of 3-year-olds are always good. Always good.
And you'll have a sprinkling of a couple of others there through the program that probably meet up in a Belgravia as well over the 1,200 metres.
Yeah, and there'll be some that are heading towards the Guineas, like a Mardusa and that. And we know that, as Brad said, hasn't met with support yet, but I think that money will come as we get closer to race 10 on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Planet Sweet should join that conversation somewhere along the line as well.
Yep.
If not in a Burgess Queen on Melbourne Cup Day.
Correct weight.
All right, we'll get into the Hour of Power and talk a little bit more racing tomorrow.
With that, we will, TC. Have a wonderful Thursday.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you to the listeners that participated today on the Sports Daily. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 5:30.